Greg, there's a lot about the last few months that have rekindled all of those feelings from 2010 to 2014 when the Heat and Miami were fighting against the rest of the country. But this morning, surprising to me because LeBron's in Philadelphia and it happened a few days ago. This morning, I walked into one of the great blessings from the last 16 years, which is Zaz and Mike Ryan clearly agitated by Bill Simmons. I've missed that so much. It's been so long since we've really had the wonderful tensions of media guy said a thing about our team and our media.
I was really mad yesterday. Now, I can probably get riled up again today because just hearing what I heard yesterday will likely get me really angry again. But I was mad yesterday.
Really? I wasn't mad.
No, I was mad.
I wasn't mad. I sat back with a huge smile on my face when I heard this sound that we'll play in a little bit.
No, there was no smiling from me.
Oh, I'm smiling. Like, man, we got him.
What's Bill saying? What's he saying?
We got him.
We'll play the sound in a little bit, but he was doing, he can be a bit of an overgrown toddler, and so he wishes for LeBron to come to Miami so he doesn't appear afraid of Miami, but he's saying it because he's afraid of Miami, because he's got some sort of scars that when it comes to however it is the Miami experience, how he on behalf of the Boston media experiences us on behalf of the Miami media.
He's deranged.
He has HDS. Yeah. The clip that we're going to play later is heat derangement syndrome.
He's a deranged man.
Well, his Celtics have had such a good offseason, so you can imagine what kind of mood he's in.
And look, I'm probably not the person to say this, all right? But Bill Simmons has been wrong about everything this summer. Everything.
You're not the person to say it.
That's why I prefaced it with that.
Because you've also been wrong about everything.
Honest.
You've been equally wrong about everything this summer.
Yeah.
But it's one thing though to be the team that trades Jaylen Brown. It's another to watch your rival take Giannis from you and then see the Jaylen Brown turned into Philadelphia, another rival of yours turning that into LeBron James because your genius executive decided to trade Jaylen Brown. It's just not something you see very often. It's rare enough for a team to trade a star to its rival. Like that by itself is rare enough. Or to make a trade of any kind, but to make a trade that nets your rival two superstars that makes their team more interesting than yours, that doesn't happen very often.
I heard it was the first time that two Finals MVPs were gotten by the team.
Woo! I'm with you. We got it.
First time in history that two Finals MVPs ended up on the same team in the same offseason.
There you go. There it is.
What are you laughing about?
What was the sound that you just made, Zaslow?
Basketball is back, Jack. Time for our favorite winter sport. The summertime is over, so let's head down to the court. Time for the tip ball. Give me fast breaks on the attack. Will you shoot a three or take it to the rack? Basketball is back, Jack. It's a dream shake down in the post, or a killer cross you love the most. When the offense tries to run and gun, is it man-to-man or box and one? It's big plays and talking smack. That's how you know that basketball is back, Jack. Let me hear you say, basketball, basketball, basketball. Basketball is back, Jack. 360 dunks and pick and roll. And we're gonna watch it every day till they raise the Larry O. Hard fouls and hook shots. A dagger three and hack a shack. If you say this game's the best, I'll say Zagak. Basketball is back, Jack. Basketball is back, Jack.
I was not here last Thursday and Friday. Greg Cody was not here last Thursday and Friday. So the crew was dissecting whether this sound from Bill Simmons was about us or in general about the Miami media last week.
There's two reasons I think it would be fun if he went to Miami. One is that I think that's a terrible fit of all those guys together. And two, they're annoying fans. They're even more annoying media will be going nuts that they think they're going to win the title. And it's going to be really fun to watch that crash and burn. So if he
More
goes there,
annoying media. A little shot
This
there.
is my favorite. What a hater.
it's not an annoying media?
He just,
What are you talking about?
slipped that in there.
It's the most annoying media. They know
Simmons is
it.
a hater. This is my favorite version. It's
They
summertime
know it.
Simmons.
They know it. That's the only way they get attention.
So we have some fresh sound from Simmons, but Mike and Zaz were of consensus that that was not about us. And Jeremy and Damashek were saying that sound is absolutely about us. And I'm with them. I'm not with Mike and Zaz. I think that's about us. I do not believe that that's about Ira Winderman. I don't believe that's about Ethan Skolnick. I don't believe that that's about Steve Wine. I don't believe that's about Tim Reynolds. I think that he is directing that directly at us and more specifically me.
I think what I'm doing there is I don't disagree with him because I think it's all the names that you highlighted there that annoy me.
I don't think that he knows who those people are. I don't think he knows who Tim Reynolds is.
Yeah.
You think that's about Tim Reynolds?
Strong disagree that the basketball guy doesn't know every beat writer. He is a basketball nerd.
Yeah, I think maybe you're not aware of the Miami media, not this show, of the Miami media's reputation in NBA circles around the country. Like I listen to NBA radio on Sirius XM every day. Every morning they're making fun of Tim Reynolds in the Miami media.
Oh, but that's because of Frank Isola. He
Yes.
actually runs into these people at gyms. That's not what's happening. Bill Simmons isn't running into Tim Reynolds, nor is he reading the work of Tim Reynolds for the Associated Press.
I think you're wrong here. I think Bill Simmons loves basketball, and he knows all the players and listens to Sirius XM, NBA. I think he knows it all.
I think he knows all the guys. I mean, look, I tried reading that big book of basketball he wrote. What a piece of shit that is! Oh my god.
Oh my God, that's not nice.
That book is garbage. I'm sorry.
What are you doing?
I'm giving my opinion.
Well, but why? So
My opinion.
But you didn't even finish it. Why is the book?
I
Garbage?
couldn't finish it. I had to stop. I got like halfway through. This years ago. I got like halfway through. I can't read this anymore.
I couldn't read a book of basketball because basketball was ongoing. I'm like, the second I pick this up, it becomes dated.
Yeah.
That's not a good book, Dan.
Please stop doing that. Like that's
entitled
Well,
his
that's
opinion.
definitely going to stick to Dan. So thank you.
I'm allowed to not like a book.
You are allowed to not like a book, but you're coming down very strong on a best-selling book that nobody has that strong an opinion
All right.
on negatively. I have not heard anybody but you have that strong of an opinion on that. What are you laughing about, Cody?
He just, before my eyes, he just murdered a bug and then just shook it off like it was nothing.
Well, what should I do? Should I left it on my hand?
Yes.
What?
Quit killing a living thing. Other than when I want to eat a steak. I don't care about that, but quit killing a bug. Anyway, what were you saying?
What's the largest animal that's acceptable to kill?
Obviously a big beef cattle, whatever they
I guess
A big
that's true.
beef cow.
No, but if that happened in front of people,
If I saw
they
you
would be
if
shocked.
I saw you I mean like you. I'm not talking about like a butcher or
Right.
like
Is it a mouse? I got it at a mouse.
possum.
I think the snake,
Possum.
possum.
You would kill a possum?
I hate possums.
I've
Is
hit
it
a possum with my car.
Is it possum or which ones
Not
are
intentionally.
opossum?
The same thing.
It's spelled
They're
opossum.
opossum.
but
Oh,
it's
possums, North America.
No wonder you couldn't read the book.
Nobody said I couldn't read the book.
I think it's mouse.
The fact that
you
I
said you
read the
stopped reading
book is why I didn't like it. If I couldn't read it, I would not know if I liked it or not. But I can read, and that's how I knew this is not a good book.
I guess it's a type of fish.
That's true.
Fish. Show me fish.
Marlin, like a big ass marlin.
Yep. Put it on the board. Yep.
I just don't understand how Greg thought it was weird that there was a bug, and I decided to get rid of the bug.
I don't, well, why kill a bug?
What?
What harm is it doing to you? I saw it flitting across the desk.
So clearly it's distracting to people, us, doing a show.
I know, but I get past it. I live with the distraction. I'm a professional. I don't let it interrupt me.
Listen to this.
And then I'm seeing somebody else kill a bug in front of me.
A lot of self-awareness here.
It's ridiculous. And by the way, thank you for acknowledging that I was the only one in this room who accurately predicted don't leave out Philadelphia when you're talking about landing spots for LeBron James, and everybody starting with this guy just dismissed it out of hand, made fun of me. Who was right? Who won? I did.
I didn't bring that up. You're just thanking me for something that has not been brought up.
I was under the impression I had heard something about that. I apologize.
Nobody brought it up.
Okay, I'm sorry.
You were the one.
That has not
you
been
murmured congratulations or something.
So, Dan, you firmly believe Bill Simmons was talking about us there.
Well, put it on the poll at Le Batard
Or you
Show.
specifically.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Do you know the difference between a possum and an opossum? And also put on the poll, is Bill Simmons familiar with the work of Tim Reynolds of the Associated Press? Put that on the poll as well. But let's hear the most recent sound here from Bill Simmons, because this is going to be a hell of a 4-5 matchup in the first round of the Eastern Conference playoffs when the Heat match up against the Celtics.
These guys, the second biggest losers then. Miami, they got dick teased nice and hard by LeBron in his camp.
They really, yeah.
They had that $8.5 million spot burning a hole in their pocket, and now they're looking at Bradley Beal and DeMar DeRozan.
Well, those guys deserve $8.5 million. LeBron deserves $80.5 million. But yeah, I almost said Miami as my number one biggest loser, because there's nothing they can do. They're so f***ed.
All right, so everyone in the world, United States and the rest of the globe, is absolutely allowed to laugh at Miami not getting LeBron James, but not the team that traded Jaylen Brown so that Philadelphia could get LeBron James. That's the one team and the one group of people in the world who are not allowed to laugh at that, is the team that got worst by the most this offseason with a move that got that franchise laughed at more than any move in its historic history.
I mean, the Heat are screwed. They acquired the best player to change teams this offseason. Hands down, not debatable. Mm-hmm. They acquired the best player who changed teams this offseason. A player, by the way, whom Boston tried to get. And because Miami got him, Boston is a laughingstock this summer. Matter of fact, if Miami's number 2 loser this summer, Boston better be number 1. Boston better be number 1. The entire league is laughing at the Celtics. They traded away Jaylen Brown. They got Paul George's corpse in return. And as a result, they indirectly, or you know what? I'll change it. They directly allowed Philadelphia to get LeBron James. Boston is a laughingstock. And it was the Heat. It was the Heat that started this offseason tailspin with the Boston Celtics. Get the hell out of here.
I didn't hear what happened before. I hope Boston was the top loser, because I don't know who else could possibly be the top loser in all of this. Yeah, don't forget, they blew a 3-1 lead to the 7-seed Sixers that started this whole thing. They didn't want to give up something called Hugo Gonzalez. They failed in their pursuits of Giannis, as you highlighted, which led to Giannis going to one of their top 2 rivals, and then Jaylen Brown going to another one of their top 2 rivals, which made Philadelphia the most attractive team in the East for LeBron James to go and change all the market prices inside of that conference. It has been a disastrous offseason, and I listened to that, and I didn't get angry. I had a huge smile. What a cope. That is hilarious to me. Look at that smile and that tan. The guy is reaching, grasping for straws to help him cope with this disastrous offseason of Boston. And as a Miami Heat fan, I love it.
This is just a sour grapes off. Bill has sour grapes. We have sour grapes. Like, no, we have more sour grapes than you do.
Yes. No, you're right. You're exactly right. But they should have the sourest of the grapes.
They have the sourest. I'm
yeah,
with
like,
you.
At the end of the day, you're calling somebody a loser that beat you to get Giannis. Yep.
Seems like his biggest loser of the offseason was the Golden State Warriors, not the Boston Celtics.
I don't know. Like, the Boston Celtics had arguably the worst offseason ever.
Paul George.
They got Paul George.
This was after their best player called this his favorite year.
What is it, Mitchell Robinson? Is that it?
That's a good acquisition.
Good gut.
I mean, it takes them away from the Knicks, but you cannot get more disastrous than having to trade a Finals MVP because you botched the whole situation. Remember, you tried to do the cutesy thing of trying to offer him in a deal, but
so
not letting
cute.
anybody know. That
So
tanks
cute.
the market because once everybody found
Not
out
so
that you
cute
actually
now.
did offer him, you got no Lev anymore. Disaster.
Dan, LeBron James plays for Philadelphia now. Giannis Antetokounmpo plays for Miami now because the Celtics didn't want to part with Hugo Gonzalez.
Okay, I've got a number of things that I've got to clarify here. And the first is I will not allow the blasphemy against Hugo Gonzalez because he's one of us, and we need to defend him, and he's good. And I understand that they didn't want to part with him, but I'm not going to slander a Gonzalez, not here. The other things I want to ask you, sour grapes. Shouldn't it be something worse than sour grapes? Like, I'm trying to understand the terminology sour grapes. When grapes sour, why is sour grapes the expression? Does anyone know the answer to this question? And the other question that I have is laughing stock. Like, what technically is a laughing stock?
The Celtics.
Where does that phrase come from? And the other thing I want to do is Mitchell Robinson, that's exactly what they need. Somebody who's just going to get a ton of offensive rebounds. That's undervalued in the league, and I don't understand why it's undervalued in the league. Andre Drummond is also great at it. Anyone who gets you more chances at baskets, that seems to be something that I would pay more money for than what it's presently going for, even though there's been a move to giving these centers some money.
The issue is that he plays like 26 minutes a game.
I'll take the 26 minutes he's in there to get extra possessions for my team to shoot threes because that's the way I'm playing basketball. I want offensive rebounds.
Dan, they failed in trying to get Giannis. They tanked the market in the process for Jaylen Brown. They got back what Bill Simmons has. We have audio of him calling the second worst contract in the league. They got Paul George in return. Now, Boston, as you mentioned, that is a feisty 4-5 matchup right now, as presently constituted between the Boston Celtics and the Miami
The Heat will have a better record.
But that was a 2 seed that was up 3-1. And in blowing that, they changed the course of NBA history.
By the way, Dan, the other guy in the clip with Bill Simmons saying the Heat are screwed was wearing a Wizards hat.
The thing that I am at least slightly confused by, because it just doesn't happen very often when we have so much division and you can't get a consensus on just about anything. The idea that the Jaylen Brown trade is the trade in Boston history that results in the most laughter that there's ever been for a Celtics transaction and goes in the pantheon with trading Mookie Betts and trading Babe Ruth. But instantaneously, you get everyone agreeing on the idea of that's laughable. Everything that just happened there is something that we all agree is the funniest thing as a transaction that the Celtics have ever done. It's just crazy to me that I can't find the people who are supporting this. I can't even find in the Boston media and Boston fandom anyone supporting this with I like Paul George as a player, or just I can't find anyone. Not an AP writer in Boston, not Gary Washburn, not anybody. I can't find who is saying anything that is other than laugh at this franchise. This is funny.
That's what's tone deaf about what Bill Simmons is saying. I don't care if he makes fun of the Miami media, but look in the mirror and see what your team has been doing this offseason. Jaylen Brown's going to go down as, granted, a couple of years ago out of Dallas we saw a worse trade. But Jaylen Brown's going to go down as literally one of the worst trades in NBA history.
I'm down for laughing at Miami. We did work ourselves up into a lather. We're one of the few teams in this entire mix that feels let down, even though Miami's had a great offseason. What I'm not down with is having a shit-eating grin on your face as you try to make fun of the team that actually got Giannis.
I don't agree with what Greg Cody is saying there. I don't think this is going to be an eternally echoing, laughing transaction. I believe that Jaylen Brown's contract is the first of its kind that's going to be moved in a shift of the league where everyone's going to avoid the second apron and you can't have 70% of your salaries tied up in two guys. And I don't think it's going to go. He's not the player that Mookie Betts and Babe Ruth are. He's fine. He's a good player. I'm not saying he's not.
We had to check if that transaction was real. That's never good.
I'm not disputing that part. I'm just saying that this can be a little prisoner of the moment because it's not even the Luka deal. Like it's
no, but it got compared
right.
to the Luka deal. That was the only comparison that we could make at the time, where we all were like, "Is this a fake Shams?"
I'm not disputing that it's worthy of making fun of. I'm just simply not willing to say that we're going to look at this 10 years from now and say to ourselves, I remember how terrible a trade that was. I believe that Jaylen Brown's going to have some issues in Philadelphia when they're trying to decide who the hell's going to have the ball the most there, and Maxey and LeBron are going to want it just as much as he wants
You
it.
feel like the guy who called his favorite season a year that they lost in the first round, blowing a 3-1 lead, you feel like he may not be down with sacrificing? Is that what you're saying?
The sour grapes expression comes from an Aesop fable called The Fox and the Grapes. A fox tries hard to reach for some juicy grapes high on a vine. When he fails to reach them, he walks away and says the grapes are likely sour and no good anyway.
However this ends with Jaylen Brown in Philadelphia, I think when we're doing this check-in 10 years from now thing, there's at least a couple of finals appearances for Philadelphia. They have a great roster for flexibility that we mentioned this yesterday. Even if things start to implode, even if the fit isn't perfect, they can move out from some of these contracts.
Mike, the problem is that Joel Embiid was the MVP of the league. He scored 70 points in a game, and they didn't make it to the conference finals. Like,
yeah, I
you
get
can't
that.
look back and be like,
Joel
all right.
Embiid broke Boston over his knee in
And
a
then broke.
legendary elimination. Yeah, he does that. But now they've added 2 finals MVPs in LeBron James and Jaylen Brown. Like, they came back from a 3-1 deficit without those guys against the 2-seed Boston Celtics. This team is loaded as a starting 5. Loaded.
I don't know, they got their shit kicked in by the Knicks the next round.
Exactly right. Do we think that this team makes a conference championship this year?
The problem with everything that's happening here, and I will continue to say this again and again because I'm a little startled at how forgetful people are about what I'm about to say, because it's only the most obvious thing. You cannot trust Joel Embiid. Like, period. You cannot trust that that's, like, in what world am I living in where anyone trusts that to be healthy?
All right, they got to the second round, and they've added Jaylen Brown and LeBron James. This is not hard. It's not hard. They've dramatically improved. Even if Joel Embiid does the same Joel Embiid bullshit, they're going to be right in that mix.
And by the way, it's not even like, hey, we need to get to the postseason with Embiid healthy, able to play. He misses playoff games every year. Like, he's in and out, including this past year. He's in and out of the lineup in the playoffs every season.
He's missed half of the games in his career. You can't trust him. You can't assume he's going to play 50 games. The over-under might be 40 with him. You just can't assume anything with Embiid, and that's a huge factor. That overrides the LeBron acquisition because it's always going to be there. His injury proneness is ever ready. It's always there.
What are your guys' thoughts on Richard Jefferson saying on his podcast that the Heat have a 5-year championship window with Giannis? The quote is, Giannis's window for being a top 5, 10 player in this league is a lot longer than a player who is 6'7", so I think they have a 5-year window with Giannis to build a proper team around him where he can still be a guy who can lead you to a championship from 31 to 36 years old.
I think that's best case scenario.
That's
That'd be
generous.
Awesome.
That's
That'd be
generous.
awesome. If
Yeah.
he gave them 5 more years of his prime, I'm very confident that the Heat will make the finals.
Well, it won't be of his prime. It won't. You're not going to get 5 years of his prime. You're going to get 5 years of his 30s.
Yeah, but you have a championship window where you can hope, even if he does get hurt, that if this guy returns to form, kind of like the Embiid thing, if this guy is healthy, though the injury history is not nearly the same, I do firmly believe the Heat right now are the worst they're going to be for the next 3.5, 4 seasons.
Yeah.
Greg Cody of the Miami Herald came in here today with something that is wildly unsurprising, and he is steadfast about it. He has announced, the legendary Miami Herald columnist who has been covering the Miami Dolphins for more than half a century in this market, Greg Cody has announced that the Dolphins will be better than anyone expects them to be.
Correct. Yeah, there's no question about that. And that's not homerism. You know what that is? That's me stepping over a very low bar, okay? I'm not predicting the playoffs. I'm not saying they're going They're going to go 10-7.
They're expected to be the worst team in the league, and the market price on them for the season is 4.5 games, for 4.5 victories.
Right. Yeah, they're the second worst team behind, ahead of only of Arizona. Arizona's like 500-1 to win the Super Bowl, and the Dolphins are like 400-1. They're not going to win the Super Bowl, and I'm not saying they are.
Oh, dear God.
I'm not saying they are.
We started on Super Bowl odds.
Good hedge.
Prediction. Mark it down for the Sueys. They're not going to win the Super Bowl.
4.5 games is the easiest over bet in football.
You said this last year when the number was 7.5. You said it was the easiest bet in football.
And I missed by half a game.
You missed.
By half a game.
You missed the easiest bet. You got the easiest bet in football wrong.
Easiest bet means they should go over by several games.
Dolphins have a pretty good defense. They have a legit quarterback, better than Tua.
Oh, you can't be that confident in saying that. You don't know that.
Upgraded at the most important position. Devon Achane is one of the best running backs in the game. They have 3 all-star caliber offensive linemen. I think they're going to be better than people think.
Greg,
That's
have you
all.
seen the schedule, dude?
A tough schedule.
Have you seen the
It's a
schedule? If
schedule.
they don't get the win week 1 at the Raiders, if they don't, they're at San Francisco the next week, at home to the Chiefs, on the road to Minnesota, at home against Joe Burrow and the Bengals. Then maybe one of your opportunities here to get 25% of that win total that you need at the Jets, which, by the way, the Jets are looking at that game saying, we got to take that
Mike,
one.
Do you know how impossibly bad the money thinks you are when they've got you at 4.5 wins and you get the blessing of playing the Jets twice a year?
Yes. Oh, here's what happens around those Jets games. Dolphins at Jets, road game, tough. They host the AFC champion New England Patriots. Then they host the Detroit Lions. Then they're on the road at the Indianapolis Colts. Then they're on the road at Highmark Stadium against the Buffalo Bills. And then, sweet salvation, the Jets are back. We host them. We can win that one. Then let's go to Denver. Then let's go to Chicago. Then let's go to Green Bay. Hey, then Mike McDaniel comes back to town with an AFC prohibited favorite in the LA Chargers. And then we host the Buffalo Bills. We get to host them in January. They don't even get the warm weather game down here. And then we close at Foxborough. They need to sweep the Jets for you to have a shot.
Greg, I want to hear which 5 games you think they're winning.
And I just want to add, the Miami Dolphins will be favored once next year.
Yes, correct.
One time.
Only by 1.5 or 2 points, less than the standard 3-point home field advantage. I'm not saying anything you don't know. They're expected to be awful. The odds are they're expected to be 1-16, and Mike's right. They have the second most difficult schedule in the entire NFL. I just think they're going to be better than people think. They're not tanking under this new regime.
But what's that mean? 5 wins? Is it like what?
Oh, that's the upside. Yeah, it would be 5 wins.
If they have 5 wins, you have a quarterback for the future, and you've made good hires.
Has a team ever won 5 games and the summary at the end of the season was they were better than people thought?
I think this time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think this time. This is a really impossibly difficult schedule.
I want to talk to you guys about a couple of the things that you just mentioned. But, Tony, have you looked up laughing stock? Greg, do you know what a laughing stock is?
I don't. I assume it's meant that you're in a stock and people are laughing at you.
It's exactly what it is. I didn't even have to look it up. I knew that off the top of my head. It's when in the medieval times they used to put you in a stock to mock you. They would throw tomatoes at you and certain things, and it's called a laughing stock because people would walk by and be like, look at this guy.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Did you know in the medieval times that when they threw tomatoes at you, it was known as a laughing stock? Because I did not know that. You also mentioned a couple of other things. You mentioned the Arizona Cardinals. You guys see what happened with McBride where he says we have no fans? I think it was on the Bussin' with the Boys
Why'd he
podcast.
say that?
Well, he walked it back afterward. He shouldn't have said that. He made a lot of people mad. And then he's like, no, we got great fans. No, buddy, you already said it.
Oh, man.
Like, you can take it back, but we already know. We know how you feel already, and you can do a little bit of a dance and a shimmy and a shake, but we know exactly what it is you said. You said you have no fans. You didn't misspeak. You said it.
What was the third baseman's name for the Phillies a couple years ago where he was caught mouthing when he came off the field after he committed an error and it was at home and he said something like, I hate this fucking town? Who was that guy again? You remember what I'm talking about?
Committed a what?
An error.
Woo! Alec Baum?
Was it Baum?
I don't know that fool.
Truth bomb.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
The thing that the Marlins and their 12-game losing
How
streak
about
yesterday
that?
against Philadelphia, it makes no sense the way they did it. Nobody can hit their closer or their starter, and the Marlins did both to win the game in the 9th inning. The thing you mentioned about Tua, I just saw on the televisions here, put this on the poll as well. Is ESPN contractually obligated to talk about Shedeur Sanders? Yes or no? Because I just saw their quarterback battles, and they made McCarthy-Kyler Murray a quarterback battle. Is it? Like, are we assuming that that's a quarterback battle?
I think it
'Cause
is.
Yeah.
I assume week 1, Kyler Murray is their starter. You guys don't assume that?
No, I mean McCarthy's a top draft pick who happened to be injured.
But he's a top draft pick at the time when we changed everything and made it just that you got to take a guy in the top 10 at quarterback because the biggest gift that you can have in that sport is hitting on a value pick at a locked contract when he's young. Man, Michigan spent its entire championship season hiding him from us. Like, maybe he's good. I've seen no proof of it in the pros except 1 fourth quarter he played in a night game. Like, I've seen zero proof. Like, I don't believe that that's going to be better than Kyler Murray to Justin Jefferson, but I don't know why people are doing that. They're telling me it's a contest. They're also saying Tua and Penix is a contest. You guys believe who will be the starter there week 1?
Penix.
I think it's totally up in the air. I think that's one of the closest races in the NFL.
I think it's Tua.
I don't know if Penix's body's going to be ready
I
yet.
think it's Tua.
And Tua's is?
Yeah.
More so than Penix. Penix has a lot to overcome. Like, remember, he entered the league with like cooked knees, and I don't know.
Tua's got to overcome being bad.
Well, and injured all the time. I mean, Tua's healthy like Embiid is healthy
No, but
right
what
now and for the next minute.
I'm not sure Penix can go. Like, I have to look it up, but like, there's a lot of question marks surrounding his ability to continue playing.
I'm surprised you guys are. I thought that by and large, the J.J. McCarthy experiment in Minnesota, we saw what it was, and there's less time on these things than there's ever been. You can pull the plug quickly because you're not paying these guys that much, and you don't get Kyler Murray to be your backup. That's not.
I mean,
Kyler Murray selected Minnesota because it's the place where he thinks he's going to start.
Yeah, but that's the same reason that Tua selected Atlanta.
Right.
It's just
I mean, Kyler Murray's a retread. Kyler Murray, I don't think is held in great esteem anymore. He's a mid-age veteran who needs to prove himself all over again.
So Penix still hasn't been cleared fully. He's torn his right ACL twice. Last year, he tore his left ACL. He had 2 shoulder injuries in college. It's an uphill battle for that guy to overcome those injuries.
You remember when I said it'll be Penix? It's not going to be Penix.
Is Arizona going with Jacoby Brissett as its starting quarterback?
$15 million, yeah.
I would think so.
And the most recent reports that I saw from Carson Beck, while he was good in the rookie camp, not so good now.
Tua, Penix, Murray, McCarthy, and ESPN. And this is a sad, sad thing if you've been someone who's a grandfather in Cleveland or a grandmother in Cleveland who has passed down your team to your kids and your grandkids, and the quarterback battle entering the season is Deshaun Watson and Shedeur Sanders. Woof. Like,
Woo!
You talk about
Well, they say
hopeless-
woof as a celebratory thing over there.
Hopeless woof. Yeah, no, that's not the wolf I'm talking about.
That's a good wolf.
I'm talking about a spanked dog, an abused dog. I'm talking about a dog that every day that the owner gets home, what? What?
Ooh, that sounded like me. Was it me?
It was you.
It was an echo.
I want to ask you guys a question about something that was happening during the World Cup that delighted me, but I was surprised by. Evidently, English language speakers en masse were going over to Telemundo to hear a language they could not understand and watch soccer, a pretty easy game to watch and understand, and they preferred the emotion of the Spanish announcers and the poetry and fun of the Spanish language to English-speaking broadcast. And it made me think, after listening to some of the World Cup coverage and just hearing how emotional the announcers are, it made me wonder to myself, are American broadcasters, sports broadcasters, a bit repressed? in terms of giving you emotion. Like, compared to the Hispanic ones, I suppose just about anybody would be, because the Hispanic ones are shouting all games. The broadcasters are exhausted. They're sweaty after the game. They're jumping up and down out of their seats, I guess, to anybody. But just generally speaking, when I put the World Baseball Classic against how the United States plays baseball, emotional repressions are all over the place in sports. Hell, I've been yelling and screaming for I don't know how many years about let the black guys dance. Like, what's your problem with everything out here? And it's because there's just a general repression around sports that's weird to have around fun and games, which are supposed to be joyful experiences.
It's amazing to me that the Spanish broadcasters in soccer are celebrated for their enthusiasm and their goal calls and all that. Why haven't English-speaking soccer broadcasters adopted that? There are exceptions. Ray Hudson brings that enthusiasm to describing a soccer game, but why don't more?
I think it's a cultural thing.
That's going to be a really unfortunate Bleacher Report social media tile. Let the black guys dance, Dan Le Batard. I don't like that one.
That's a misquote. I don't like that.
Yeah, in soccer,
I definitely don't like it.
In soccer, it's not an American repression; it's an English repression. You mentioned like the Fox broadcast. Was there one American play-by-play guy in John Strong? They were mostly Englishmen. The English soccer play-by-play guys are a little bit more repressed. But in soccer, when I watch MLS and there are American voices there, they're excitable.
Ray Hudson is English. I mean, you know.
Yeah, he's also not a play-by-play guy, but he's famously enthusiastic. But he's a color analyst.
So let's listen to why it is in mass. People were going over to Telemundo. Telemundo crushed it during the World Cup, and people were going to find a language they don't understand because of how joyful it is.
Otra vez Messi, se desvía la pelota que cae al área. No pudo Julián Messi. ¡Argentino! Que este equipo no te va a dejar tirado, dijo un día Messi. Que está viejo, que tiene 39, viejos son los trapos. Que está fundido. ¿Quién? El relator. Messi. Messi rescató el partido por ahora de Argentina. Argentina. Egipto 2.
Ya nada más cómo le empalma Messi, emocionante, le metió vértigo a Argentina y en...
This is funny for a number of different reasons. Unfortunately, we don't have the video. If we did, you would have seen that Andres Cantor fell to his knees, removed his slacks, and was waving them over his head shirtless. Unfortunately, we don't have the rights to that video. But when you listen to it in English, it usually goes something like this.
Messi at midfield, he's sauntering. Looks like a man in a supermarket aisle with no true intention. Wait a minute. Gonzalez has the ball to him. It's on his left foot. He's slaloming through the defense. You know, with Messi, it's that kind of thing. We've seen it all his career. So forth and so on. His left foot cocks. Upper right corner. Net rattles. Argentina 4-0. That's a good goal call. I don't know who that was.
I rate that.
That was pretty good, right?
Is there more of that?
Lionel Messi sauntering in the midfield circle. No great intention in his play. He's moving at 1.4 miles per hour. They have stats on everything now, that kind of thing. Messi gets a pass. He gets a pass from Fernandez. He's moving a little bit right. He's jogging left. He's slaloming through 6 defenders. This is incredible. We've seen it before with Messi. His left foot cocks. The ball sails. Upper right corner. Net rattles. Argentina 4-1. Yeah, I like that guy. See, I don't need an enthusiastic broadcaster. I'm watching it with my own eyes. My eyes are dancing when a goal is scored. I don't need the repeated goal.
Was that an own goal there?
Yeah, that was an own goal. Messi decided to...
He went the wrong way?
First
go
goal
the
was
other way.
4-0, and then it was
His own
4-1.
net rattled.
Well, it's a different game, I'm sure. I give that broadcaster...
Argentina's net rattled.
So some I give that broadcaster some benefit of doubt.
Tony, help me please with the translation. When Andres Cantor is saying, you said Messi was fundido. Fundido is a synonym for washed, but it's not quite washed.
Fundido is like sunken, like he's sunken. It doesn't really work there, but fundido could also mean like the lights went out. Yeah, some sort of washed, but not in the literal term washed.
It is so nice, though, to hear Cantor grab that. Like, you can hear the emotion emerging from his nether regions. That's coming from his hamstrings. Like, that's where it starts. It starts back there, and then it just comes out, and he falls to his knees, and he's weeping.
The electricity is just like, ah! Woo!
Other people's stuff.
Really?
Yeah. Yes. That's my bit.
So you claim
That's my gimmick.
what, that one?
Well, 2 so far. I can't wait to hear the other 17.
What else do you say?
Well, I'm sure.
What else do you know?
Show everybody your list. I'm sure you're going to find out a few more.
Okay, I didn't know you were associated with what he say.
This is shocking. Everything that's happening here is shocking. It seems like Chris Cody is secretly enjoying this. He is laughing. He doesn't laugh this way.
I'm sure you're involved somehow, too, by the way. You're not an innocent bystander.
Pretty heavy line from Zaz.
Seriously.
From me.
Yeah, you're jealous. It's his catchphrase.
Right.
Countdown.
You're right. I am jealous. I'm jealous that my phrase is being stolen by someone.
It's not yours.
And using it on their podcast, which we know that has become a thing on his podcast for people to listen to get more viewers, to get more listeners. Yes, I am jealous that my stuff is being taken and is essentially you're reaping financial rewards.
You basically feel the way musicians feel about Spotify.
Yeah, you're Napster.
Napster. That's
right.
an old phrase. Hey, that's what I'm talking about.
You're Napster.
Right in your face. Right in your face.
What'd he say?
Singing this. Oh, my God.
They're not even similar the way I say it and the way he says
You're
it.
Napster. I'm Metallica. We're going to see how this ends.
Okay.
You might go to prison.
Okay. What'd he say?
Greg, you are still maintaining, after just watching Emerson warm up, you're still maintaining that you think you're going to make more than 3 of 10 penalty kicks?
I think I'm going to make 3 or 4, yeah. There's no question about it. I've got a psychological edge I found out in conversing. Emerson, Lake, and Palmer is a good goalie, don't get me wrong. I call him the Pink Panther. But,
You laid out for a reaction?
FIU in the championship game.
Hold on.
In the
You
conference championship game.
actually did pause for applause there on the Pink Panther? That's what you just did?
Yeah. He's a Panther. He's wearing pink. He looked beautiful. Number 30, not even a goalkeeper's number. I mean, this guy.
Emerson, before you get into goal here, how many kicks is he going to make against you? How many penalty kicks do you see him making?
0.
I'm normally a good penalty saver, so probably nothing.
Okay.
I'm assuming nothing.
Yeah, that's what my guess is.
He's got an accent. He's going to be good.
Yeah.
Overconfident. I'll make a goal. There's no question about that.
Nope, no chance.
Will you?
You don't think?
I don't know.
That's a big goal, man. That's a wide-ass goal.
Do you know what foot you are?
I'm ready. Will I kick with my left or right foot?
Are you wearing shin guards?
Instep? Yeah, you know why? Because we got a rumor that Emerson here, as soon as he lets up the first goal, he's going to come out and try to kick my lower leg. So we decided to put me in shin guards.
Emerson, have you ever tried to stop the shot of someone less impressive and generally weaker than what you're about to do right now?
Nah. I've never seen somebody this old in my life.
This episode of the Dan Le Batard Show is presented by DraftKings Sports. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
So there is a curious story, and some would say a suspicious story, because usually in sports, if you're famous, an accident can't just be an accident. We will have questions. Kyle Shanahan had an accident 11 days ago, and the information has been slow in getting to us, but we now know he had 40 stitches on his face, he had broken ribs, he had a broken nose, he had a broken hand. Chris Sims, very close friends with Kyle Shanahan. I believe they have each other's initials tattooed on each other's bodies.
Sweet.
Chris Sims says that he was close to maybe losing his right eye. A Palo Alto police officer says there will be no information released regarding the cause of this collision or who was at fault. And then Dan Patrick says this, because it happened 11 days ago and we didn't learn about it until this weekend. Dan Patrick asks, why is ESPN holding the information? If you're in the news gathering business, or at least you used to be, the NFL now owns 10% of ESPN, but did ESPN have the information and choose to sit on it for 11 days? Did ESPN say to the Niners, we won't release it until you tell us to release it? Okay. End quote. The thing that I wanted to ask you guys regarding privacy and regarding health privacy, there are certain instances where I have seen Miami reporters agree and work with management to not release personal information on why a player is out. There's all sorts of health stuff going on with Porzingis that Steve Kerr, when he mentions a word about it, all of a sudden starts backtracking because they're just stuff that you don't want out there in public, that people are in agreement it's okay to keep private. But usually when an accident happens in public, the next thing that happens is what's happened to Tiger Woods now a couple of times. We're going through your medical records. We all of a sudden have permission to go past the normal guard gates around privacy and go where the news is. What is your take on what's responsible and fair here, and 11 days of silence regarding something that's an accident so horrific that Kyle Shanahan cannot do his job right now? He's still suffering from concussion symptoms and is not able to coach or run the 49ers. What's fair here, Zaz?
I don't have an issue with us not having this information. I'm not sure why it's such a big thing if criminal activity didn't take place. The part that I am curious about is it appears, like you said, that sometimes there are instances where the media will be working with management and they're agreeing to not let the information out. It appears that there was some media who had this information and was sitting on it, and that part I don't understand.
This is not the kind of situation that you sit on. This is newsworthy. Prominent, successful head coach of a major NFL franchise has extremely serious injuries. That should not sit 11 days without being out there. And the whole thing is very suspicious, partly because it was covered up. But it now.
Why would it be covered up? That's the part I'm confused with. Unless there's criminal activity.
Okay, I think to me this is a hint based on what I've read. It appears that Shanahan may have been distracted on his cell phone which is against state law to drive while doing that. It also appears that the woman driving the other vehicle may have crossed the center line and caused a head-on collision. Neither party was ticketed. And the rationale was that both parties were guilty, so we're not ticketing anybody.
What is Chris Sims' responsibility here? Because Tim Kawakami is going after Florio and Chris Sims because they work together, and Kawakami is tweeting, wait, did the journalistic Guardians co-host just talk in detail about his friendship with Kyle Shanahan and the crash, but waited until 13 days after the crash and 3 days after the 49ers announced it? Sure that wasn't just capitulation to the 49ers? Who ordered the code red?
Chris Sims is not a journalist.
And even if he were a journalist, I have no problem with him sitting there. They're like best friends.
And as we know from this summer, sometimes journalists can have their hypocrisies when there's a relationship.
I think best friendship comes before your journalism. Like, I'm totally cool with Chris Sims there.
I mean, newsworthy is newsworthy. You know, if Shanahan's son has an illness, that's not newsworthy to me. That's a private, personal matter. It's not a private, personal matter when the head coach gets in a very serious auto accident, partly, apparently, of his own doing. That's newsworthy. By any definition, that's newsworthy.
But why? So why do the 49ers want to cover it up, though? Why is it people get into car accidents?
Okay, but because it's embarrassing, I think. Because if indeed it's true that Shanahan was distracted because he was on a phone call, he is partly responsible for causing his own accident, and that's embarrassing.
Speculating here, it does seem like there's been some sort of hiding, right? They've been hiding this story. And when you're hiding a story, it's usually because you have something to hide. And now the way that they've handled this allows, I think, for speculation, be it fair or unfair.
And also you have to look at the injuries he suffered. Okay, if Shanahan shows up at training camp with a broken arm, he can say anything he wants. Oh, I stumbled and fell in my house. When you show up with 40 stitches in your face and other injuries as well, it's obvious. It's a flashing neon sign. What the hell happened to you? And he's a prominent enough figure where he owes the fans and the NFL his explanation.
We've gotten really fast to he owes and skipped right past how horrific these injuries are. He can't do his job. Like, he's incapable of doing his job. They've got someone as an interim replacement doing his job because the headaches are so bad. Never mind broken nose, broken hand, broken ribs, 40 stitches on the face. The headaches are so bad, the concussion is so bad that he's incapable of doing his job. Greg's right when he says that's absolutely newsworthy, and by holding it for as long as they did, you do end up in the position where everyone is now free to speculate, what were you hiding? Because the first place everyone goes is, were you drinking? Like, that's the first place, and all the news reports say after that, no, alcohol is not involved in anything that's happening there. So then after that, if there's nothing else after that that is embarrassing that way, because DUI is different than you were on your phone in terms of shame and embarrassment.
Don't just silo it to alcohol. There's plenty of ways to drive under the influence.
Fine. Make it all of the influences. Choose your influence. You can choose whichever one that you want.
OWI.
They have ruled out the possibility that this is criminally negligent. The officers have already done that. It's interesting to me, though, that what ends up happening when we don't talk about it for 11 or 13 days is invariably everyone ends up at you're hiding something. What are you hiding? I want to know what you're hiding.
Well, it seems pretty clear that there's some sort of favorable treatment here from the local authorities. But to what end? I don't know.
And why? And why?
And why? I can't answer that, but the way that this has gone about has been, odd.
An 11-day delay is an eternity, and it screams cover-up. And I know cover-up has a bad connotation, but in this case, I think it fits because that's 11 days of San Francisco 49ers brass discussing how to handle this. Oh, we can't put this out. Let's just hope it goes away. We can't announce this. Why? Because he's on a phone. He's distracted. it's just a bad situation. Much worse than if
Time
it's
to throw away
newsworthy
all
immediately.
journalistic credibility and get reckless. Here is something we like to call reckless speculation.
You're good.
I'm a little late on it because we've already done all of the reckless speculating, and so it was
a little delayed, yeah.
Delayed, much like this news in getting to us was delayed.
A 13-day delay on reckless speculation.
Yes.
We should play it 13 days from now.
The thing that I wanted to talk about, though, in here is the sniff and the whiff of what Dan Patrick is giving you. What do you guys believe is going to change with the fact that the partnerships are now stronger than they used to be once the NFL Network owns 10% of ESPN? What's about to change here in terms of how it is we get information if what Dan Patrick is insinuating here is actually so? Because I assumed that the Bay Area reporters had some information than they sat on. I don't assume that ESPN is sitting on information here. I don't make the leap that Dan Patrick made. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. But I'm willing to entertain the idea of how does everything change right now when your partnership is a lot more spoken and written than it used to be. Because it used to be, wink, wink, we want the Super Bowl, we want to stay in the good favor of the NFL. But it's never been the NFL owns 10% of the news gathering outfit. Once you give them 10% equity stake in the news gathering outfit and you are partnering with the NFL network, now you're in bed with something that has no allegiance to journalism. Zero. And in fact, would be against journalism. Like, wouldn't want ESPN doing the things that ESPN would have to do to sometimes run afoul of the NFL. Now, Jimmy Pitaro says nothing is going to change, and it's just a hard thing to believe.
I think they've already been kind of protecting the NFL for several years because this deal has been in the works for a very long time. They are full-on propaganda arm. They are financially incentivized to keep that shield clean. And I do think that in-depth reporting on the NFL that paints it potentially in a negative light won't be coming from ESPN anymore. And it doesn't, yes, they are financially incentivized to. There is a partnership there. There is equity there. But we're seeing it already with the NBA. They value these rights partnerships and their partnerships with these leagues. They're not doing anything to advance the Kawhi story. And I think that's in collaboration with the NBA.
All right, hold on just a second. That's strong. Full-on propaganda arm? That's where we are?
There's equity involved here, yeah.
I'm in agreement.
The NFL Network was a propaganda arm for the NFL, and now ESPN owns that.
I'm in agreement on the 10% ownership. That's a fact. I'm not in agreement on full-on propaganda arm because that makes it so that you're now expecting to actively have news covered up by ESPN in order to, when you say propaganda, you believe that ESPN is now going to be actively covering up news on behalf of the NFL.
I think ESPN's not incentivized to do the work there. Do. And this is not new for ESPN. ESPN has a huge partnership that they overspent on with the WWE. There was one dude that was critical of the WWE on their website. Guess who's no longer working for ESPN? That's how these things happen.
Okay, but that's where you guys are. Is everyone in agreement with this? Is everyone who's listening?
I'm surprised you're not. You love a good leap.
Well, I love a good leap, but full-on propaganda arm is not something that I am ready to concede yet because they still do have a Pulitzer Prize winner
BBN's
investigating things that they are paying ostensibly to investigate things. Now, he may not be investigating things, and they may just be paying him to not investigate, but they still are paying people to do investigative work.
Well, perception is reality, and the problem here is that there is the perception of collusion. There's the hint that there may be collusion here between two business partners, a league and a media, quote-unquote, entity, although less and less so. And so it's not out of consideration that at some point maybe ESPN says to its 49ers writer, we're not going to report this yet. I don't care if you know it. The 49ers haven't reported it, and we're not going to report it. I'm not saying that happened, but the business partnership opens the possibility and the suspicion that that could have happened.
Well, ESPN's conflicted at every corner in almost every sport that they have rights for. Guys, they own the CFP. And then they inflate one conference that they have the biggest financial stake in the SEC. Top down. There are conflictions everywhere. There's this is not a new thing with ESPN.
There are conflicts everywhere. They've always managed the conflicts and done the journalism. It's not new to have the conflicts. It's new to succumb to them at every turn and become a full-on propaganda arm, which is not what they've been.
You say they've done the journalism. What was the last big story that they pushed? What was the last big story that ESPN broke and it was a full-on investigation? Now, I'm not saying that it doesn't exist. What I'm saying, none of us can name it.
I don't know if Belichick not being allowed into the Hall of Fame was the last one and chasing Bill Polian around with pitchforks both unfairly and inaccurately because the old man couldn't remember whether or not he voted.
They have Shams Charania, who once reported that Donald Trump had COVID before anyone else. He is the premier insider in all of sports.
Good scoop.
He has not said pretty much anything on the Steve Ballmer front. You don't think with one phone call, Shams can get great information?
I don't
on the Kawhi
actually,
front?
and I'll tell you why. I don't actually, and this is the explanation for you. And I touched on it briefly yesterday, and I want to suss it out a little bit here today, okay? Because I've now talked to enough people, been sort of confused by why it's taking so long. And the reason it's taking so long is because the owners are afraid of Steve Ballmer's money. And they're afraid that the entire construct of what it is that they've built, the salary cap illusion of we're all in partnership on equity, is going to fall apart if you punish him so much that he then takes to court, hey, you don't have the right as the commissioner of the league to do all of this stuff to me just because you say. And I am alarmed that people with this kind of money are this kind of afraid of Steve Ballmer's money, because these are not unwealthy people. And the idea that Ballmer has so much money that this is taking that long makes me think that the subject matter is so complicated that Shams doesn't have actually access to the kind of information here that you would want him to have about this. I don't know how Shams does his job. I've told you guys before. I did not think that a human being would be able to do the job that Woj did. I thought there was one person on earth who could do that job that way. I was confused while it was happening at ESPN. How the hell is this guy getting all of the stories always? Like, what sense does that make that on every beat writing corner, you've got some outlet who's got a reporter dedicated full time to reporting the news in his market, and Shams comes in and takes all the news? How is it possible? How is it possible that Woj did it that way? And it's at least in part, this is not the all of it, it's at least in part because of this change that's happened throughout the information business where all of the agents and all of the agencies are propping up one person as the information person. And so all of the information that is trafficked in the channels of power at the highest form that people want out and sometimes don't want out, he's got access to all of the relationships. But I believe that everyone listening to this would be fascinated if I explained to you, and I can't, the details of how Shams does that job. And I also believe that it'll be the way that you go to a magic show and then they explain the trick and you're like, oh, that's how they do it? That stinks. That stinks that it's that easy to fool me. Because it doesn't make sense to me that it at all, that one person, Greg, you give me all the people, it's like Schefter and him, but Schefter at least has some competitors, whether it's Jay Glazer or Ian Rappaport or whoever, Pelissero, Rossini, there are competitors everywhere in football. How are there no competitors in basketball?
So I've looked up some of the biggest investigative pieces that ESPN's had over the last several years. I guess we can credit Tisha Thompson, who's done a good job for them. The Shohei Ohtani scandal. Although the MLB rights deal has been diluted for ESPN. There's a lot more people eating at that trough. But there's not a lot here, dude, DVN, who's an incredible investigative reporter, was doing stuff on Lloyd Howell and the NFLPA, but Pablo was on that. Like, there were people leading the charge there.
So is it like, if we don't have your rights deal, we're going to do journalism against you?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Even the Sorsby stuff was a little muted. They're not going to be industry leaders in investigative reporting anymore. That is of a bygone era, and I think it has in large part to do with the rights fees are the straw that stirs a drink for that company.
Okay, but let me just ask all of you this question, because, again, Mike is saying this more strongly than I've heard anybody say it when you're saying that it's a full-on propaganda arm. If what you're saying is true, that all of a sudden ESPN is no longer going to do journalism to or against or around the NFL, why is their president still telling us that he is?
They're going to do some. There's going to be heartwarming stories and pieces and the occasional .com story, but they're not going to be leading the way. And I don't know why he's like. I think he's telling us that they are, because that's something that a good president would say. Yeah, like why open the door to that? But I think Dan Patrick is on the money. With the NFL, they are absolutely going to be burying stories that stain the shield.
Are you okay with that?
I have no choice. That's the way that the world is going. How am I going to stop it?
The thing is, there's two levels of what's really newsworthy. There's the newsworthy you can't avoid, like a head coach being fired, and there's the newsworthy that apparently you can avoid for 12 or 13 days, and that's the head coach being severely injured in the offseason. You know, if Shanahan is fired next month, that's a big story with ESPN. There's no denying it, but you know, this is a grayer area with what's happened to Shanahan.
Well, let me put in front of you guys just the idea of what Mike Ryan just said, which is awfully defeatist. That's the way the world's going. How am I going to stop it? Nothing gets stopped that way. Like, if nobody complains about anything that way. There's no reason for outrage. There's no reason to question anything. Like, if all you're going to do is be like, well, my lifetime standard doesn't matter anymore. It's irrelevant. That's the way the world's going. What can I do? Well, you can complain about it. That seems to be sport.
I wasn't the one that got aggregated because Disney didn't interview Chris Johnson to their liking. This has been going around. Guys, I saw Marshawn Nealon score a touchdown for the Dallas Cowboys, and several days later, he killed himself. Where was the wall-to-wall coverage on that? Yeah, it was on there. It was reporting, maybe in the news cycle for a couple of days. We move on. It wasn't covered the way that Javon Belcher was. There has been a sea change.
I think that's why there's not only an opening for, but a need for what Pablo Torre and others like him are doing, and there aren't many others like him doing it, is because the major outlets, the worldwide leader, they're acquiescing. They're saying, nope, not interested in investigative reporting and hard news anymore. We just want to keep our partnerships. And that's the trend in major news. You know, the Washington Post isn't what it used to be in terms of that kind of reporting.
I think that everyone is okay with it, and I think what's interesting about how morality gets trampled here is exactly this, where it's so fatiguing and it's so tiring to fight losing fights on behalf of the correct thing that you just end up acquiescing and being like, look, I enjoy my football on Sundays. Leave me alone. You don't need to apply any kinds of standards to any of this. I don't want to hear about what these guys have to deal with in terms of pain after they're done playing. I don't want to hear about the CTE. I don't want to hear about concussions. Just give me my uniforms and my betting money on Sundays. It's all I want.
I can't remember a single thing that they said on the Vrabel Ruzzini thing. I can't. I think it was like Pat McAfee going, whoa.
And AJ Hawk was like,
now, to be fair, that put a lot of people in a difficult position, but, you know, we didn't talk about it well, but we talked about it. This is changing, and we're helpless. They're literally firing everybody. There's like 2 people still. And I think the real reason that they're on, and I'm not knocking Tisha Thompson and DVM, they're doing an incredible job. But I think their biggest value to the company is that the president can point to them and say, no, we still have these people. We still value journalists. Look, we employ 2 really good ones.
But why, though? Why? What?
Optics.
Okay.
Appearances.
But what are the appearances if no one cares? Like what are they?
No one cares. No
Like,
one cares.
What appearances are you protecting? Who are you doing the optics for if no one out there cares whether you're doing investigative work? And furthermore, as you've heard me say before, ESPN didn't have any reason to get into the journalism business except to get the credibility of newspapers. Once they had the credibility of newspapers, they can discard any need for doing this. They taught us that journalism could be done by sports television networks. They chose to do that. They raised us on that, but there's no obligation for them to do it if they're in business partnership with the leagues. And the only way to do journalism correctly is to separate editorial from sales, which can no longer be done anywhere in American commerce.
I think ESPN is hesitant to surrender the illusion that there's still a news organization fighting hard to report news and be the first to do it. They still want to be referred to and thought of as the worldwide leader when it comes to that. And as Mike said, it doesn't cost the president of the company anything to say, yeah, we're still interested.
But can you be
in
the
news.
worldwide leader as a full-on propaganda arm? You talk about conflict. Aren't those things conflicted?
It's been happening for years and years and years. So yes, you can. And you don't do it all in one fell swoop. You do it by degrees. You get rid of most. Yeah, you don't do it all at once because that's how you get a lot of people throwing their arms up in the air and saying, "Oh, you're totally out on investigative journalism." It's very clearly not a priority for them. The priority for ESPN as a Disney-owned company is rights fees and making money and getting that Super Bowl on ABC.
One of the things that has always been interesting to me about watching ESPN is how strange I find it that what they're best at is the games themselves and very little content outside of the games themselves. Their best programs over time are usually stuff that's outsourced, and they have to go elsewhere to get the young people, the young audience, whether it's McAfee, whether it's PTI being done outside of the doors, whether it's around the horn, whether it's bringing Rich Eisen back. A lot of times what it is that they're doing is, as a production company that makes content, they have to go outside in order to make that content, which is strange when you're the worldwide leader in sports. But Tisha Thompson is doing some of that journalism, and she's going to be on with us on Thursday because finally someone has done something around that Shohei Ohtani story that talks to the interpreter and gets us a little bit more information on what's happening there. So she'll be on later this week, but I've waited too long to update Greg Cody's catchphrases.
Oh, that's a shame. We were just going to get to Zaz's thoughts on the matter.
Embargo.
Another embargo? You can catch the unembargoed Zaslow.
He's just waiting his turn.
On Zaslow Show 2.0, which I saw yesterday, was filmed with Tony participating in the studios here. How did that go?
It was great. I had the show logo right behind me on that big LED screen. I got a great show logo, Greg. I had the show logo behind me. I had Tony to my left here. I was sitting in the main chair. I was sitting in your throne. And we had Tony making his debut on Zaslow Show 2.0.
Talk about getting sleepy on the drive home, Dan. Do you get sleepy on the drive home?
You ever fall asleep on a drive, like a long drive?
Yeah, like Shanahan.
You got a short drive.
Every day. Does that happen to you guys every day?
Happens to me every
Almost
day.
every day.
We have like the similar length drive.
Almost every day. Yep.
I don't know what I do. I like start singing sometimes. Put the music on.
I got to try something like that. That's a good.
I'll slap myself sometimes.
Really?
Just a little. Come on, step at it.
You do it with both hands. What are you using
Just
for
a
the
little
steering wheel?
Well, just a quick little.
Yeah, it's a problem for me. When I get
itis.
close to home,
Yes.
I get the itis. You know about that itis, Greg?
I do.
We have the lunch.
You ever do the thing where all of a sudden you're, oh shit.
No, it doesn't happen to me on the highway, thank God. It's really when I'm stop and go, when I get off the highway, when I'm getting close to home, I get really sleepy.
Yeah, you suffer from drowsophobia.
Drowsophobia?
Yeah, that's exactly what you suffer from.
I don't think that's a thing. I think
No,
you're
it is
making,
a thing.
That can't be a thing.
Yeah, and likewise, if you have difficulty making decisions, choosing what restaurant to go to tonight, you have decidophobia.
Look these up, Chris. I think your father is making both of these things up. I don't believe
Here's
there's...
$100 if there's no such thing as decidophobia. I'll give you the money right now.
Well, wait a minute. I thought we were doing drowsophobia first.
Well, drowsophobia, I'm not positive is a thing, but decidophobia, no question about it.
Not really behind the wheel, but one thing that I noticed after I turned 40, I sit on that couch and the TV's on. It's hard. Like, to
Yeah.
stay up.
Yeah, for
like,
sure.
It's just like, oh, man.
Yeah.
This is what happens to all the old timers where the TV's on, they fall asleep.
Yep.
I was like, how can you not stay awake? And now, we're in stage 2 at Darlington, and I'm like, ah.
I used to get mad at my dad when we would watch stuff on the couch and he would fall asleep, and I'm like, now, shit is hard to stay awake.
The best sport for drowsing off is, bar none, is professional bowling.
No, it's golf.
The golf nap.
The soft clatter of pins.
No,
The golf nap and
Oh,
the
my
stage
God.
2 NASCAR nap, undefeated.
Greg, it's not a soft clatter of
It's a
pins. The
soft
pins are being
clatter of-
disintegrated.
Not if the volume's down a little bit. It's a soft clatter.
Greg,
He is right about that. If the
Greg,
volume's down,
Plasticky
Dan.
sound.
No, he's not right about.
Yeah,
He is
thank
not.
you, Tony.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Easier sport to nap to on television: loud ass bowling or whispered golf.
Oh wow! Way to phrase the question. In a
Objection,
way that
leading a
Loud
witness,
ass
Your Honor.
Tony and I had the same experience, though, where we have both been woken up before
awakened
by the car drifting onto those little bumps on the side.
The divots, yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
There's no fear like that fear.
Then you're wide awake the rest of the ride.
I was driving back from New Orleans with Kip Kudik, and I made the mistake of falling asleep in the passenger seat. And I heard that the first thing I heard to wake me up was the sound of hitting those things. But the next thing that got me is we were spinning. The car
Oh
was
my
just
God.
the car was just going in circles in the median. Yes, it was terrifying.
So wait a second. You felt the divots, then you went back to sleep?
I'm sorry. No.
Okay, because
no.
next thing you know, you're waking up again
No.
and you're doing dog
Full
food.
kinky full
right
king.
there.
I felt the divots, and I woke up, and we were still going straight, and then I was going in circles.
Was he awake?
No. He fell asleep at the wheel.
No, but I mean, once you were doing the circles.
No.
Maybe he was in a deep sleep.
You think he
Had
was
that REM
snoring?
sleep.
You believe that he was sleeping and snoring while we were doing circles at 80 miles an hour?
Some people are deep sleepers.
I'll just start talking to myself. If I say words, that'll wake me up. I don't feel that feeling anymore. I'm in the car by myself, like, all right, let's just, I got a meeting when I get home. All right, just saying words.
You got to put a song on that, all the
yeah,
words
just
to.
sing it.
When I wake up, yeah, I know I'm gonna be the man.
Yes.
It's a real problem.
And then you're like, when I get home, I'm taking a half-hour nap.
You guys believe that I have skewed the poll because I made it loud-ass bowling and whispered golf. You believe the voting's going to be different?
Yeah.
On
Yes.
napping?
Yes, we actually have a social experiment today. When you game the polls to say, is it better to go 6-0 or 6-6 in the NBA Finals? I was like, let's reword that. Is it better to go to the Finals 12 times or 6 times?
Are you ready to do your catchphrases?
I am.
I have a poll question and a question for the group before we get to the catchphrases, which is, can it be a catchphrase if it's something you only say to the dog? Because Bay is on a catchphrase list here, and it's never said to humans. It's something that is said to his dog that is disorienting and confuses Jumping Charlie and is meant to be disciplined, but it's just a sound where he's confused that his owner is a crazy old man and he doesn't understand the sound that's being made. So can a catchphrase be something that's only said to the dog? We had today, Lewis came in. And Lewis has been on vacation for a little bit. And Lewis was told that the catchphrase countdown is not yet in the top 10. And he's like, you guys are shitting me. When I left, we were approaching the top 10, and we're like, yeah, it's further back now than it was when you left. We are less close to the top 10 than we were when you left because it's been expanded to a list of 70 phrases instead of 50 phrases.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Is it going to go to 75?
No, right now it's staying at 70. Yeah, we do. It's staying at 70.
We think.
I mean, I'm obviously I'm not in charge. There's a committee overseeing the
Who
whole
were you
project,
saying we do to? Did Chris say we think and you were supposed to say we think and you instead said we do think?
We do think.
You didn't say the think, though. You just said to your son, we do.
We do. We think. We're thinkers.
We all do.
Exactly.
Number 70.
Number 70, I'm fuller than Vern Fuller. 69, where's my click, click? 68, hey, Butterfinger up. 67, punt. 66, Scranton. 65, I'm busier than one-arm paper hanger. 64, George up. Georgia. 63, I'm the kind of guy that's 62, ball on the jack. 61, hey, hey, with the monkeys, baby. 60, thank you, Billy. 59, I love him like a pet. 58, who made it a salad? 57, we're rolling now, huh? 56, your brain beating me. 55, let's go States. 54, driver comfort is paramount. 53, dummy up, say bop. 52, catches catch can. 51, doesn't make it right. 50, so on and so forth. 49, very good. 48, the Little League theory. 47, nice hat, asshole. 46, the others, they all learn from me. 45, don't go showering to try to please me. 44, look at that jerk. 43, it's like a packing house in here. 42, what'd you learn? 41, hee-haw, 3, ba-day up. 40, I'm not going to take a quiz. 39, sassafras. 38, will we break a window? 37, hello. 36, who won? 35, trailers for sale or rent. 34, you got to eat a peck of dirt before you die. 33, 3 words, we are the Lobos. 32, you're going to go to Buffalo with Bernie Parmalee. 31, Rappy Cack. 30, another crisis solved. 29, nice chatting with you. 28, he ain't heavy, he's my blank. 27, hey, that's what I'm talking about. 26, who let a pet? 25, good on ya. 24, dancing swords. 23, QK, quick crap. 22, bay. 21, blank in it. 20, that's a fact, Jack. 19, gotta want to learn, gotta want to earn. 18, put a Lobo's mint under your pillow and dream big. 17, quite a bit. 16, take the rest of the day off. 15, do what now?
Hold on. Where are we? We are now at the last
Take a
of the
breath.
updates?
Yeah.
Those are all old ones, right?
Yeah, those were through 15. The new ones that I'm about to announce are numbers 14 and 13. And then next week will be 12 and 11, and then we have arrived at Heaven's Gate, the top 10.
Did I make you cough? Is it like a yawn?
Do what now?
Yeah.
It's just a cough. Okay. All
Do
right.
what now?
You want the last two?
I do.
The next two?
I do.
Okay.
Give us the last two.
Number 14, Right On. I'm trying to bring back Right On. It's not working, but I say it at every opportunity. If someone compliments me and says, I love that black shirt, I'll be like, right on. Because I'm not going to say, oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I bought it at Walmart.
Right on.
I'm just going to say right on because it's an all-purpose affirmation. People, hippies, believe it or not, I'm not quite old enough to have been a real hippie in the mid-'60s. I was 11 in the mid-'60s, so I was too young to be a hippie. But from the mid-'60s through the early 70s, people said right on and groovy, left, right, and center. Those were the words at near the top of the lexicon. If you were young in the 60s and 70s, you said right on. As much as you could, you said, great, that's groovy, man. That's groovy. And so I'm trying to bring back right on number 14.
But you're failing.
I'm trying, man. I'm doing my best. That's why I'm doing it. Everybody starts saying right on. You know, somebody compliments you. It's an affirmation. Isn't that a beautiful sunset? Right on.
Put it on the poll, please. Did the phrase right on go extinct in 1973? Yes or no?
That's about right. That's about right. Yeah. But let's all bring it
Right
back.
on.
Right on. Exactly. Right on. Right on. And you can say it a bunch of different ways. Right on.
Number 13.
Number 13, Who Shot John?
This is a classic. This is a family classic.
I've never heard him
I've never
say
heard
that.
And we've
I've
looked it
never
up.
heard-
It's not problematic. I know it
I've
sounds.
never heard it. Why did he say that? Why does he say that?
Okay, my wife can testify that that's one of my favorite phrases.
But why?
If you can't decide where you want to go to dinner, you're playing Who Shot John. So if it's like, where do you want to go to eat? Dad, let's play it.
I thought that's decisionophobia.
Greg, where do you?
The
Dad,
cytophobia.
where do you want to go to eat?
Don't play Who Shot John.
We're playing it for the people. We're
we're
trying
playing-
to
okay.
show the people how you
Okay.
play it.
Okay, let's go to McDonald's.
I don't know. Let's go somewhere else.
Let's go to Burger King.
Nah, let's go to Subway.
Okay, and
See,
then,
that's playing Who Shot John.
And then we're on our way. Here's the best part. Then we're on our way to Subway, and my wife goes, or we could go to Olive Garden. That's Who Shot John. Once you make a decision,
Now that you explain it that
follow
way.
through.
Okay, Olive Garden, Italian Denny's.
So this is not an offshoot of Who Shot JR.
No.
Right on.
I don't
Who Shot
understand
John?
what just happened. That does not deserve to be that high. That's offensive
Yeah,
to me.
Who Shot John?
That's offensive to me.
Okay.
I've never heard you use that phrase before.
I use it, and parenthetically, Who Shot John does not mean that John was murdered. Okay, John might have been grazed. Okay,
It's not a mortal wound?
No, people assume it's a mortal wound. It's not. Okay, you winged him. You winged him.
Tis
in
but
the-
a flesh
in the upper
wound.
shoulder. Right, exactly. You
Tony,
winged him.
do you
Yes.
understand?
Thank you.
Yes or no question. Do you understand what just happened here?
Yeah.
Yeah, Greg's winded from talking.
He's really winded.
No trickery.
His hands are on his hips and he's genuinely winded. All right, let's watch this, Greg and Jeremy. You just tell us
Old
what's
man in
going
the
on.
blue, winding back.
It's not golf.
I told him
He
to
just
do
told
it
me
this
to do
way.
this in a golf voice.
I told him to do it that way
I don't know why.
He's looking at the camera,
because he's not a play-by-play
bent to
guy.
a knee, looking like he's going to kick a field goal. And the kick, right at the goalie, and it's blocked with two hands.
So far, hey, but it was on target. That's a shot on target, and it had some pace. He didn't catch it.
It was like
One shot
directly
on
at the
target.
goalie's face.
All right, he stayed central.
He's lined the three balls
Forced
back
to
up,
save.
putting his hand behind him like a relief pitcher, and
Ooh,
there's
he
a
hit
save.
the
dive.
He did have to dive.
0 for 2.
A
Okay.
dive to his left, right on your screen.
Greg's doing better than I thought.
There are
Yes,
two
he
soccer
is.
balls.
He's got some
lining
pace
another
behind
one
it.
up in the middle. And he backs up. Let's see if he puts his hand. Yep, just like a relief pitcher once again, Craig Kimbrell. He kicks straight at the goalie.
Kicking it right at him.
There's
That
nothing
one
on these kicks.
Could have
There's
been
caught that
nothing
one.
on it.
He caught that
The
one.
Take a
goalie
chance.
jumping
Aim
up and
one
down.
way.
More safe than I thought.
Three balls lined up, and here's the kick.
Oh, there's
Okay.
nothing on
Not
it.
the put some oomph in
And
that
he's
one.
gonna get tired now. No chance.
Now Greg Cody seems exhausted. We've got a second screen action here. Here it goes, and the kick, and
Oh,
he kicks it right at the
He
goalie.
kicks it. It's like he's playing
Oh,
catch.
We should
for
talk to him
5.
here. We're halfway through.
All right, Greg,
How
hold
many have I
on.
taken? 5?
5.
0 for 5.
Now, are you trying to set him up for something here? Maybe go at him like 5 times in a row?
I saw the new He-Man movie. Oh my god.
You've mentioned that.
Oh my god. I think it's the greatest cartoon to movie adaptation ever. I was so worried. I was a huge He-Man fan. Of course, I'm a kid of the 80s, all right? I was a huge He-Man fan. I had all the toys. And 40 years ago, 39 to be exact, 40 years ago, Masters of the Universe starring Dolph Lundgren came out in theaters. I had the flu. I was 6 years old and I had the flu. Didn't matter. I told my dad, we're going to see Masters of the Universe. I won't cough on you, I promise. And we went to go see Masters of the Universe because I love He-Man. And 40 years later, this movie's out. And I told my son I'm going to take him. He's 14 years old. He doesn't have a clue about He-Man. He knows nothing. I'm like, you're coming with me, okay? I took him, and my 20-year-old cousin is staying with us also this week. He doesn't know shit about He-Man either. He's Canadian. I don't even know if they have TV there. So I take him and my son. We go see He-Man a couple days ago. And I was worried about this movie because you look at the trailer, I'm like,
Trailer.
I don't know. It looks corny. You know, I don't know if this movie's going to be any good. I'm worried. I'm worried about this movie. And I see the Rotten Tomatoes scores. And I had friends texting me a few days ago, have you seen He-Man yet? And I'm like, no, I'm going to see that. You're going to love it. And the Rotten Tomatoes scores are very high. The reviews are very, very good. And if I could tell you how much I loved this movie, it is so good. If you're a child of the 80s, like me, If you loved He-Man, who was my absolute favorite, you're going to love this movie. And dare I say...
What is this, an ad?
Dare I say, Jared Leto, who's a terrible actor, does terrible films. He's awful. Jared Leto.
Famously give awards to terrible actors.
He's terrible.
I'm with you, though, lately.
Jared Leto
Cold streak.
is phenomenal as Skeletor. Incredible. He nails it. He's great as Skeletor. Anyway, I love this movie so much. Everything you want, it has. And it got me thinking, all right? I got a top 5 for your asses today. You ready for this?
For my ass.
Top 5 for your asses today. I got a top 5. It is top 5 all-time 80s cartoon villains.
How are they all time if it's just
all time? Top 5 all-time 80s cartoon villains. You ready?
So ready, Zaz.
No, we're getting right after
Yeah.
it.
We're workshopping back here a theory that you talk like that because you've hosted shows by yourself for so long that you have
stretch.
Like this is just another person
I ask
that
a question
you create.
and then I answer it with this
that's
voice.
A good point.
Number 5, Shredder.
Now you know who did the voice of Shredder.
Who?
Uncle Phil.
So a report from Grant Cohn says that Kyle Shanahan was holding and using his cell phone when a 21-year-old swerved into his lane. That doesn't seem like something worth covering up. Is it something worth covering up? As an assortment of people on this show just admitted to recklessly driving their manslaughter vessels into all sorts of upcoming traffic while falling asleep, trying to make a venture home after the really hard workday of working 4 hours around
We're
here.
just being honest that we get sleepy on the road. I think it's a very common thing.
It's
you
really
see it in
about
here.
that itis.
Can you look up for me whether the itises that your father spoke of there?
Phobias.
Phobias, excuse me. They're not itises, they're phobias.
Decidophobia.
What was the other one? It wasn't drowsophobia.
Yeah,
What was it?
Drowsophobia.
Well,
I
there's
believe.
a drowsy phobia or an intense fear of falling asleep is called somniophobia.
Okay, but that was the one I was unsure of. Decidophobia is the one.
You offered me $100.
Well,
if
and
it
you'll owe me $100 if decidophobia is a real word.
Is decidophobia a real word? Is it a real ailment? Is that what it's called?
I got to do a deeper dive. AI overview says decidophobia is the extreme irrational fear of making decisions.
Thank you.
It's not like
$100,
I'm not seeing a
please.
dictionary definition, but the
That'll
internet
be
is telling me that it's a
$100.
thing.
The previous Hall of Famer around here for a call of an animal being on the field is something that has belonged around here for a while to Kevin Harlan. Can we play the sound, please, of Kevin Harlan? Because we've got a new nominee, Jason Benetti. Our friend Jason Benetti had a squirrel run on the field yesterday and did some play-by-play of a squirrel running on the field. But before we get to Benetti, let's play what is so far the king when it comes to animals running on the field.
Oh, there's a cat. A black cat has taken the field. A black cat is running from the 20 to the near side, the 10. From the 39 in Dallas, here's a short throw down the middle, caught by Ingram. Caught at the 35, went to the 30. Now the cat running the other way, and so is Ingram at the 30 to the 25 to the 24-yard line. It's a catch run of 15. Now the cat is stopped at the 50.
So is it bad luck for the Giants? Is it
I
bad
don't
luck for the
know.
Cowboys?
I don't know, but they've stopped playing. The players with hands on hips are watching the cat run and zigzag all over the field. Now he's at the 5. He's walking to the 3. He's at the 2. And the cat is in the CDW red zone. CDW, people who get it now, a policeman, a state trooper has come on the field, and the cat runs into the end zone. That is a touchdown. And the cat is elusive, kind of like Barkley and Elliott, but he didn't know where to go. Look at, they're trying to corner him, and they got him in the end zone. There are state troopers all around this cat, which now climbs up into the stands, and the fans are running for their line. Now it goes back on the field again, and it's running in the back of the end zone, and it runs up the tunnel.
You got to lay out if you're Kurt Warner there. Let your boy cook.
Easier to do that during a football game, which is a little more fast-paced. It's going to be hard for Benetti to top that. But what happened when a squirrel ran on the field?
The chase for the squirrel is on, and the squirrel is in the corner, and the squirrel is still eluding an entire horde of grounds crew members. And the squirrel's free once again. Hemmed in? No, I won't be hemmed in. I have freedom on my mind. Trying to go between the legs, and eventually he gets away again and hops through the towel. And hops through another towel. The force field is activated. Towels can't stop him, or maybe they can.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank the grounds crew. Let's give them a round of applause. The Detroit Tigers grounds crew, thank you.
That's Bill Miller, the crew chief. He just got on his mic to thank the grounds crew and got booed.
It took 67 of them to catch one squirrel.
Like a hype man umpire over here.
You okay, Greg?
Yeah, that was genuinely fun to hear. Both great calls. Those squirrels are dangerous, by the way. I would not want to try to... A cat, you think of cats with the claws as being more dangerous? Man, a squirrel, I would not want to go... Yeah, I would not want to go near a squirrel.
I've never heard an umpire try to, like, work the room. Let's hear it for him. Come on. And they were, like, booing him.
Put it on the poll. Are squirrels rats with fluffy tails? At Le Batard Show. Or rodents with fluffy tails.
Good PR is what they have.
But they are rodents, technically.
Then rats with fluffy tails.
There you go.
I've got in front of me a handful of top 5 lists. Zaz has one, and Mike has 2. Mike was busy scribbling there, and I saw it happen. It's rare that you get to just witness where it is that inspiration comes from. But I saw Mike realize that Kyle Whittingham is now the coach of the Michigan Wolverines when it came up on the television.
Number 5. Kyle Whittingham is now the head coach of the...
What is the list?
He's so bad.
Way to ruin his list.
What is the list?
This top 5 list is top 5 college football storylines that you may have forgotten happened during the offseason. Number 5 is Kyle Whittingham is now in Michigan. Remember, he kind of retired at Utah, and then something happened with the Michigan head coach, butter knives and whatnot, and now he's over in Michigan. He's a Michigan man. Number 4. Dan, you got it?
I saw the way inspiration happened there. Did you guys see how that happened? Where all of a sudden Michigan.
You want number 4?
Not right now. Not yet.
Matt Campbell's at Penn State.
I wasn't quite prepared to do this just yet. The reason that Whittingham was on my televisions, is it because Ward Manuel has gotten a $7 million buyout as the Michigan AD? Is that the reason that in July Kyle Whittingham was on my TVs as the new face of Michigan sports?
No, Dan, he's on your television because fall camps start opening up next week. Yeah. Number 3, hey, the Pac-12 has 8 football teams now. No, they were the Pac-2, but they added like Boise and San Diego State. I think Texas State is in there. Yeah, people forgot. See, I'm here to help you out.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Do you think you can accurately guess how many teams are in the Pac-12? Yes or no?
Number 2, Kalen DeBoer signed a 7-year contract extension and makes $12.5 million a year. Wow. Why? He got that extension. You know, he was linked to some other jobs, but good agent. What has he done? Big Kalen DeBoer.
Beats Georgia every once in a while.
Georgia. And number 1, James Franklin hired Virginia Tech's head coach from last season to be his defensive coordinator at Virginia Tech this season. That's weird, right?
Also weird, Greg Cody of the Miami Herald, who has a Baseball Hall of Fame vote. This is a day of celebration in baseball. Whenever it is, they announce their Hall of Famers. Among them this year, Andrew Jones, who has an unusual friendship with, wait for it, Mike Tomlin. But it appears that
Splash.
Greg is mad about Jeff Kent
getting into the Hall of Fame
Really?
as the maybe the greatest power hitting second baseman that there has ever been.
He was so good.
He was good. It's the Hall of Fame. It's the Hall of Great, not the Hall of really good. Not bad.
Well, he's
Pretty
got
good.
more home runs than any second baseman ever, and
I don't parse that by position.
he won an MVP as well.
I don't believe he did.
Didn't he?
I thought he did.
You're right. He did win one MVP. You're right. Yeah, in 2000. It's so long ago. Right around the same time the Dolphins won their last playoff game. No, this is not against Jeff Kent personally.
But a Hall of Fame voter should know whether he won an MVP or not. He shouldn't, after voting, look at me and say that after not voting for Jeff Kent,
Right.
that you don't know whether or not, or to deny that he won an MVP.
Oh, I didn't
when
think
he has.
I didn't think he did. Sue me.
Wow, that's
It's a frivolous lawsuit.
yeah. It's not a great look as you were
Okay.
about to sideswipe him for not being worthy of the Hall of Fame.
Okay.
When you
All right. Then how about this? He's a 5-time All-Star. That's a low number for somebody who's played like 17,
That's
20
true.
years. That's a low number. Look, here's the thing. Hall of Fame voters require 75% to get into the Hall of Fame. Okay, that's a big number meant to keep out the Hall of Very Good and make it a Hall of Fame, a Hall of Great. 75%. In 10 years on the ballot, the most votes Jeff Kent ever got was 46%. Not even close. And yet, a couple of years later, the Veterans Committee swoops in and says, Jeff Kent, pretty good. Oh, look how good he was for a second baseman. He won an MVP award. And then all of a sudden, the 46% doesn't matter. And the Veterans Committee overrides the main voting electorate and just lets in a Jeff Kent. Again, this is not against him specifically, but in general, if the electorate does not allow you in with 75% or more, you shouldn't be in.
You know what? I think I agree with Greg. I think you're right.
Thank you.
I started off saying I think Jeff Kent is a Hall of Famer. He's a really good player.
Yeah, really good.
I think you're right. I don't think he is a Hall of Famer.
Thank you.
More home runs at second base than Robinson Cano. More home runs at second base than Robbie Alomar. More home runs at
means
second
nothing.
base than Joe Morgan. What do you mean? It means nothing.
Well, but
to hit-
Alomar got in because of defense as well.
And Joe Morgan got in for a lot of reasons besides home run hitting.
Okay, but just to be clear, generally speaking, I'm going to give you guys an assignment that's going to take a minute, but I'm guessing that if I go through all of the positions in sports outside of pitcher and find the leading home run hitter at that position all time over 100 years of baseball, my guess is that all of those people are going to be in the Hall of Fame if they hit more home runs than anyone in the history of their position.
I would say even pitcher. I feel good about Babe Ruth.
Those archaic rules have changed. It used to be if you had 500 career home runs, automatic Hall of Famer. That's not true anymore. In Jeff Kent's case, I don't know why you're obsessed on most home runs by a certain position. That's what gets a lot of catchers in, is because people set the bar lower for a catcher for some reason.
But I
than they
just
do
think
for
of
other
him
positions.
as I think of him, if not the best of his time at his position, among the best of his time at his position.
He was among the best.
I have the list at every position. Mike Piazza, 427 home runs.
So he's not in the Hall of Fame, or is he, because of the steroid stuff? Like, is he or is he not?
I'm not the guy that's a baseball writer.
I don't believe he's in the Hall of Fame.
Is Mike Piazza a Hall of Famer? He should be a Hall of Famer.
Do you know who the active leader is at the position?
Is it Salvador Perez?
He is a member of the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, Big
There you
Sal.
go.
Big Sal. First base, Albert Pujols.
Yes, of course.
This
First
can't be
ballot.
right. Is Paul Goldschmidt the active leader at that position?
Still playing, dude.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, for the Yankees, he's good.
Yeah.
He's still good.
Yeah. Jeff Kent at second base. It seems as though it's like the least amount at any position.
Thank you.
Jose Altuve is the active leader. Third base, do you know?
I do.
All time?
I mean, we're guys naming dudes
Is it
right
Mike
now.
Schmidt?
Yeah.
A-Rod doesn't count for third base?
No. I think he hit a good amount of those at shortstop.
Okay.
Manny Machado, active leader. Shortstop,
The second least position.
Cal Ripken Jr. Yeah, not A-Rod. Active leader, Francisco Lindor. Left field. Anybody want to guess? That's right, Roy. It was the reason why Jeff Kent got into the Hall of Fame, because of the protection that Barry Bonds offered him. Yep. Center field, Willie Mays. Right field, Hank Aaron. DH, David Ortiz.
So literally, Barry Bonds is the only one who's not in the Hall of Fame. And it's because of the steroid stuff. Everyone you just mentioned is in the Hall of Fame. And Greg is keeping out Jeff Kent because he thinks he's not Hall of Fame.
Oh, but home runs aren't everything.
Right.
It's not the whole game.
No, but
Kent,
at
who was
that
only
position,
in the Hall of Fame because he had the protection of Barry Bonds in that lineup.
And Jeff Kent was not known for defense. He was not a good defensive player, which is half of the game.
I'll tell you, the one stat that sticks out the most to me that Greg gave was Jeff Kent played like 20 years, only 5 All-Star games. That's not good enough.
That's a low number.
That's very low.
For a Hall of Famer, that's bottom.
Very low.
Yeah. And again, the main electorate spent 10 years topping him off at 46%, almost 30% less than he needed. Why should a small committee consisting of 8 or 10 men all of a sudden be able to swoop in and say, nah, we think he's a Hall of Famer, even though the electorate consisting of hundreds of people never gave him anything close.
You're
to the
dismissing.
sufficient vote.
You're dismissing this as not even close when half of the voters essentially think he's a Hall of Famer.
Right, and it took 3/4.
But he played in the golden era of second baseman. Guys, there was Jose Vidro, Carlos Baerga, Craig Biggio, Fernando Vina. Come on, name second baseman of the 90s with me.
Well, the
Come on.
part I was
Play
having
with me.
trouble with is when he said, it doesn't support my argument, so I didn't say it. I was going to say it was a good time for second baseman, but I don't think in the National League it was. In the American League it was, with
Really?
Cano and Alomar.
Edgardo Alfonso.
Why are you saying it like that?
Mark McLemore.
Yeah, not a great
Tony
time
Womack.
for
Dan
second
Uggla.
baseman in National League. He's in the-
Kilvio Veras.
Kilvio Veras.
You mentioned Francisco Lindor, and I wanted to ask you guys a couple of questions as the trade deadline approaches, and Scooble's probably going to change teams, and there's the possibility that Lindor has the benefit of moving from the Mets to the Yankees without having to move out of his apartment, because Anthony Volpe is about as bad a major leaguer as there is and shouldn't be a shortstop for the New York Yankees. And I'm guessing that the Yankees are going to trade for Lindor. But I wanted to ask you guys, when I mentioned the hot stove, A, do you have any interest in baseball's hot stove anymore, as basketball and football's transactions are really something that we love to talk about here? And secondarily, do you guys think you know why it's called the hot stove? Does everyone here think they know, or does anyone know for sure why it's called hot stove banter?
I used to know. I forget.
I can take a guess that I think is fairly reasonable. I think it might tie to the fact that the phrase back burner, like if you put something on the back burner,
No.
that's the opposite of a hot stove.
I think that the reason it's hot stove is because if the stove is hot, it means something's been cooking or is about to cook. And so I assume that that's the reason, but put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Do you know why in trades in baseball it's called a hot stove? Yes or no? Do I have any interest here or zero interest? Is there, with Jeremy out being a camp counselor, is there no interest in baseball transactions around here?
No, that's a big deal. That could change things immensely.
I hate that for Detroit. Like, I hate that Detroit can't afford to keep somebody who's such a sensation and, you know, the best left-handed pitcher since Kershaw.
I think how wide open the American League is, in particular, makes it pretty fascinating, and it makes for a good market if you're not too inclined on giving somebody up. I think the marketplace is going to be desperate because you have a whole lot of teams that think that they're one guy away.
Before we get too far away from the Hall of Fame, you mentioned before Andrew Jones and Mike Tomlin's friendship. This was my favorite thing from all the Hall of Fame coverage I saw over the weekend. I was like, why is Mike Tomlin wearing an Andrew Jones hat? They have some odd friendship. Here's them describing their friendship.
You're wearing the Braves jersey to support number 25. What's the story of your connection with Andrew Jones? Well, we've shared the same banking amenities over the years, man, and we've had an opportunity to spend some time together through that, and just had a really great opportunity to get to know him as a human, man, and great guy, fun times together, and so I had an opportunity, obviously being free this time of year, to come support him. We talked about it, I think, at the Masters, and I said, man, I'll be there, and so it's great to be here this weekend.
This is such a rich thing. Dan, now my question to you, have you made friends at the bank? Because I've never made friends at the bank, but I imagine there's a certain echelon of being a bank person where, like, you are so in at this bank that they give you, like, hey, we're having a wine mixer tonight. Hey, come on, Andrew Jones. Come on, Mike Tomlin. Free beer and wine for everybody.
I'd bet my life on that not being a bank that he is talking about. Poker games, something else. But the way that he talked about
banking amenities.
No one calls it a banking amenity.
Sharing banking amenities is
and then the smile that washed over his face as he continued to describe their
banking
relation.
friends.
That's not.
Dan, do you have banking friends?
The ATM at the strip club.
I mean, does banking amenities just mean, like, you're wealthy and you both do fun stuff together?
Mixers?
Famously, Andrew Jones was part of the Gold Club trial, and one of the things that I enjoy mentioning is you must be having so much sex if you go and be a part of the Gold Club trial, and you are testifying about having sex with two women at the same time, and you can't recall either of their names. Like, that's what I associate with Andrew Jones when it comes to off-field behavior, but I don't know what sharing banking amenities means. Does any...
What is that good rate?
Put it on the poll. Do you remember dancers' names?
Even if I had two of them, I don't think I remember.
Okay. Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. If you had sex with two people at the same time, do you think you'd remember one of their names?
Same time.
Yes or no? Yes. It wasn't. It was at the same time. That was the point of the story. The point of the story is that it was multiple. It wasn't that he was just having sex with dancers. It was that he was doing so and not remembering their names while
It would be shocking to me if he did remember their names.
Yeah.
Why
they're all
should he
made up
remember?
names anyway.
What is sharing of banking amenities? And I can't wait.
I got it as a mixer.
You know what it means, Dan.
Banks should have
once a
cocktail
month.
hours.
Come on out. Come on down. Free beer and wine.
Okay, so just to be clear then, the question you were asking me is whether I go to get cheese cubes at Bank of America on a Wednesday night because they're giving away some Zinfandel.
Like, Sandy Alcantara, what are you doing here?
You know about that Bofa? I think the Rays would be a fascinating landing
Gloria,
spot.
good to see you.
It makes all the sense in the world that banks would have happy hours. You know, cocktail lounges. Why not?
Because they close at 4.
When's the last time you went into a bank?
I did so recently.
I did too.
I actually go into a bank rather often and am often by myself in a bank because that's not how we're doing it anymore.
It's so
Construction
sad.
business.
Yeah.
They're like ghost towns, banks.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Are banks like ghost towns now?
And they're like mad that you're there. They're like, this could be online. Why are you here?
I mean, the Tigers are only 6 out. Everybody in the American League sucks. Except for the Rays. They're good.
When you mention, Chris, how it is that everything has gone digital, do you guys have any food establishments that will simply not take your order by phone, where you call and someone picks up the phone and they tell you that you have to order via the internet?
No.
They will not, because this is a new thing that's now been happening to me as the world changes around me, and some of these establishments refuse to take my cash in a way that's distinctly un-American and is bothersome to me, and more of them refuse to take my cash. They also are refusing to take my order on the phone.
Yeah.
And I'm getting...
What's the place you're calling? What's your usual order to it?
It's just a Branzino. It's a Branzino, and it's just with broccoli. It's a very simple order, and they refuse to. What's sad about
That's
that?
for delivery.
It's a sad dinner.
Fish doesn't travel.
I pick it up. It's not. I'm not ordering it to deliver. I'm going to pick it up.
Scott Spezio.
I've noticed, Dan, that I can get somebody, but they don't want that. You get that voice message first of like, hey, go to our website and download, and you get 3% off. And then at the very end, they're like, but if you'd like to talk to someone, just stay on the line.
Miguel Cairo.
I can tell you don't order it from a Hispanic spot because they love answering the phone and taking your order at Hispanic spots. Anytime I want to get a sopita de pollo, I want to get un pan con bistec, I call and I'll be like, hey, señora, quiero tal y de. Okay, 15 minutos, ya está listo.
Mark Loretta.
They love answering the phone. They love service.
Todd Walker.
That's your fault for going to a gringo place.
Ronnie Belliard.
I cannot wait to hear Mike Tomlin use 40 words when only one is needed, because sharing banking amenities leaves us more confused than if he had just said, I see him at the bank sometime.
How is it not a follow-up from that reporter?
Little Mikey Mordecai.
I will never forget what he did to Kyle Farnsworth. Right off the wall. Nobody was expecting that.
Clear all those bases.
You talk about Bartman. You talk about Moises Alou. How about Farnsworth coming out and he can kick everyone's ass because he can do karate and he's 6'9" and double off the wall.
Delino DeShields.
So you don't have anyone in your life that you'd be like, yeah, I met this guy doing banking amenities.
Pokey Reese.
Can you get me the story about Pokey Reese either being abducted or going AWOL? What is the backstory there?
Mickey Morandini.
Yeah, he was going to be on the Marlins, and then he disappeared. We're still looking for him.
But was he abducted?
He just dipped.
People will do anything to avoid being on the Marlins. By the way, I have a hot stove solved dilemma. Are you ready?
Yes.
The term hot stove league comes from 19th century winter gatherings where baseball fans sat close to a literal wood or coal-burning pot-bellied stove in general stores or barber shops to chat about baseball.
Andy Fox.
How about that? Pot-bellied stoves in a general store. It's my kind of America.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Is the pot-bellied stove your kind of America?
Greg, what is a pot-bellied stove? I know what a normal stove is. What's a pot-bellied one?
Spivey.
It's literally a circular stove that has
close to the microphone, please.
That has a little door that latches shut, and when it opens, the door is big enough to put in wood, like pieces of wood, and then the pot-bellied stove. If you keep the door open, you get all that heat. It's almost like a portable furnace, is what it's like.
Nick Punto.
And those used to be really popular back in the day.
Martin Prado.
I don't think you can even buy one now. I'm in Best Buy buying a TV the other day, and I asked the guy if I can still get like a Magnavox console, and he looked at me like I was kidding. He said, of course not. Anyway, same with the pot-bellied stove. Think of the past.
Jose Offerman.
Zaz, why did you just look at Greg Cody with a great deal of disdain?
I don't think I did.
You did while now I'm going to give up what I think is the reason. He was far away from the microphone.
Oh, yes. He was genuinely, surprised when you said get near the mic. Like, he forgot about the microphone.
Startled him.
I was having a conversation over here. I'm leaning back to see who I'm talking to.
No, but your reaction when he said get to the microphone, you were like, oh. You forgot there was a microphone.
Why do you forget that you're on the air and your obligation isn't to talk to the back row, it's to talk to the audience?
Yeah, more should be like me, because I think when the starting point is having what you consider to be a normal conversation, like I talk the same into your microphone as I would if it's just me and a buddy at my house and we're having a conversation. I don't have an on-air voice. And I think people appreciate that. I'm just having a regular conversation here, and sometimes I like to lean back. Sometimes I like to look at who I'm talking to. And so when I do that, occasionally, the price is maybe occasionally I'll be an inch and a half too far from the mic. So be it.
Mark Grudzelenik.
So Clayton McCullough, the manager of the Marlins, delighted Zaz by just simply mentioning the Odyssey.
Oh,
because,
what a movie.
Zaz, I've never seen Zaz behave this way around a movie other than He-Man. It's strange to see Zaz this excited. He's already
Movies are back, Dan.
He's already seen the Odyssey twice, and I believe he's going to watch it more than twice.
But it was meant to be seen, as we have talked about here. It was meant as Christopher Nolan, who's got. Can you guys go through the IMDb of Christopher Nolan? Because I really do want to examine his Hall of Fame director career, because is Dark Knight in his top 5? Like, is it actually in
It
his,
is.
I mean,
yeah.
Okay, we're going to go through it in a second and see if it actually is or not, because he's got a lot of movies to choose from. But there are only 25 theaters in all of America that give you the experience that Christopher Nolan would want you to have with his very expensive cameras. It is an experience that has the seats moving in the theater. And there was a disagreement where it seems like Zaslow thinks that we have video here of something that is real, but everyone else thinks it is AI. So can I get some sort of final verdict? And Zaz, if you want to just do some play-by-play here, because I don't know what this video is. I also have not seen the Odyssey. So you have famously, you have vertigo, so you cannot see this movie the way that Christopher Nolan would like you to see this movie.
Oh, no, I could see it on the IMAX 70 millimeter, no problem. I can't see it because all showings are sold out. But what I can't go see it at is a 4DX theater, okay? And these 4DX theaters, Dan, these are the theaters where you got to strap in and the seats move around. I saw one movie in the 4DX. I saw the Buzz Lightyear cartoon movie in the 4DX. I almost fell out of my seat.
By yourself?
No, I saw the Buzz Lightyear 4DX movie. Took my wife on a date, and I almost fell out of the seat. So I can't go back. But Dan, here's the Odyssey.
Ridiculous.
Look at these seats. It's first of all, there's mist. There's water spraying out of these seats, and it's like a roller coaster. Look at this.
It's like an earthquake in
there.
there.
How could you watch a movie like this? It's crazy. And no, I can't see a movie like that anymore because I suffer from vertigo. But look, it's an earthquake in that theater.
Screen's blurry. Can't even see the film.
That's because we had to do that.
We blurred it out, obviously.
Yeah, it wasn't obvious.
Well, but you think people are watching a blurry screen?
Yes, while being in the middle of an earthquake. The most ridiculous movie experience in history. I would pay money not to be in a chair that moved. What's wrong with people?
I mean, people are barfing during that movie, right?
Yeah, they sure are.
You gotta barf
and
if you're
they're
in a
not,
seat like
they
that.
should be. Somebody barfing right on the back of my neck while I'm going up and down. Like
If somebody barfs on the back of your neck, you gotta say something,
That's
right?
ridiculous.
You can't order nachos in that movie.
How you dipping the nachos?
You got
It's
to take
getting everywhere.
the red wine challenge. Yeah.
That's crazy. How could you see a movie like that?
It's insane.
I think it's actually pretty cool. And the reason why is if you've seen the Odyssey, there's a lot of moments that they're on the ship and
Well, I would imagine that
tremendous
clip there is,
storms, right?
Poseidon's trying to kill them.
Poseidon's
Dan.
trying to kill you, and you're trying to hold on for dear life, and it's cool to be in the moment. You got the water spraying. You're trying to sit there and row as the same guys are rowing on the screen. I think it's a cool
I'm
experience.
not trying to get hurt. They get hurt in a movie like
Exactly.
that.
I want to watch Jaws. I don't want to be in the boat when the Jaws guy is coming into the boat, eating half the boat. I want to watch
The
that.
Jaws guy?
I don't want to be a part of it. The Jaws fish. Whatever.
The shark?
You know about that Jaws fish?
You could have just stopped at the Jaws.
Well, that's true.
Could have just been Jaws. Like, how are you Mike
Jaws
Tomlin now?
guy.
Are you now Mike
Been a while
Tomlin?
since I've seen the
The
film.
Jaws amenities.
Tell us everything you know about the film.
I mean, it was a great film. I used to go to movies back then. I think I saw Jaws and All the President's Men back to back in my movie-going days.
One of those is 1976 and the other one's 1983.
I saw them back to back. I don't go to many films.
He sat in the theater and waited.
And they weren't that far apart. What are you talking about?
You want Christopher Nolan's directorial
years
resume?
on
I do, but now we've got to look up the distance between Jaws and All the President's
I think
Men.
they were both like mid-70s.
I may have it wrong. I was just
President's
sort of-
Men, 76.
There you go. 76 trombones and a millionaire. And
Jaws,
how about-
75.
There you go. So I saw them back to back.
Still not the same day. Like, you made it seem like it was a double feature.
Well, what am I don't go to movies.
Jaws
like,
could have
on
hung
a- on
around
a
for a while.
Thursday and a Friday.
Jaws could have hung around in theaters for a while.
Thank you.
Let's get to the Christopher Nolan IMDb and see if
Not a Hall of Famer.
What?
Christopher
What-
Nolan. I don't think he gets
you
the
haven't
70.
been to a movie since Swing Vote,
I don't
dude.
think he gets the 75% among cinephiles.
Of course he does.
I think he had maybe 2 movies out the last time you went to a movie.
Does he? I'm asking a serious question.
Yes.
Yes.
He
yes.
gets 75%.
Yes.
Isn't he
Hall
knighted?
of Famer. First ballot. First
is
ballot.
he? Is he?
Stay strong, Dad.
Is he Sir Christopher Nolan at this point?
He should be, even if he's not a knight. He
I'd
should
be
be
curious
based.
what a movie knower would say
Okay,
about that.
I'm sitting here arguing.
Stay strong.
We're going to go through his IMDb now. Are you
Go
ready?
ahead. Do it.
Okay, he's heard of all of these.
Do it till you're satisfied.
2000, Memento. 02, Insomnia. 05, Batman Begins. 06, The Prestige. 08, The Dark Knight. 2010, Inception. 12, The Dark Knight Rises. 14, Interstellar. 17, Dunkirk. 2020, Tenet. 23, Oppenheimer. 26, The Odyssey.
Okay, 71.4%. Not a first ballot Hall of Famer. Probably a guy who gets in on the second, third, or fourth year like Carlos
You're
Beltran.
nuts.
Tenet is his steroid scandal. Tenet is his only 5 All-Star appearances.
That's right. Thank you.
You are wrong.
Yeah, he is
think
knighted.
he's a first ballot
But
guy.
I'm also wrong. Dark Knight has to be in his top 5 if that's the list. Although people sleep on Dunkirk, and they shouldn't. Like, that's one of the greatest
Good movie.
war
Yeah.
movies.
Prestige probably his best.
You want to shock people? You say things like Dunkirk and Odyssey. They're in the bottom half of Christopher Nolan movies.
Oh, I think Odyssey's at the very top.
And it's a rhetorical trick. No, I think it's in the bottom half.
Wow.
I think it's the bottom half. And that's just a testament to how great his films are. In fact, The Odyssey is not my top film of 2026. Would you like to hear my top 5?
Do we have a choice? No.
Dan, lead it off.
Kyle Whittingham.
Outside looking in, only one of these. Obsession.
That's really good. I've heard a lot of good things about that from a lot of people whose opinions I trust. So I'm willing to say that's really good before having seen it.
No, it is really good, although Juju was out, but it's another reminder as to why I think horror is the best genre, the most forward-thinking genre in Hollywood.
We love horror movies.
Yeah, the filmmakers, the up-and-coming filmmakers there take so many chances. The budgets aren't the same, so you have to be really creative. And I think Indy Navarrete is going to get nominated for Best Actress. That's my bold prediction there.
No. We were having a nice date.
It's actually pretty good. Nominated for a Suey. Number 5, The Sheep Detectives. Great film. Yeah, really, really great family flick. Cool effects and a pretty captivating whodunit. I like The Sheep Detectives quite a bit. Quite a bit. Number 4, The Drama. Loved this film. Loved watching it in the theater. There were so many gasps. And I think, here's my bold prediction. Huge year for Robert Pattinson. I think Robert Pattinson gets nominated for Best Actor and Best Supporting Actor. Best Supporting Actor, I think he gets nominated for The Odyssey. But Best Actor, it's anybody's guess. It could be for The Drama, but it's such a huge year. He still has his Chris Hansen movie coming out. That comes out very soon, where he plays Chris Hansen. So that should be pretty good. Number 3, The Odyssey. Great film. Great film, but not the top of the year. In fact, not even number 2. Number 2 belongs to 28 years later, The Bone Temple. Loved this movie. Ray Fiennes was unbelievable, and in fact, the entire cast was incredible. I do hope that they continue telling this story because it was a great performance.
How many of those have they made? Is this the third or the fourth one?
I think this is the
Four.
fourth, but like the third Danny Boyle one. And number 1, I think pretty clearly, is Project Hail Mary. What a freaking movie!
What a movie!
And look, you can like The Odyssey. I think Project Hail Mary is pretty sizably better, but it came out early in the year and people forget about it.
Didn't Juju say Obsession was super boring?
That's what he said. He's entitled to his opinion.
That's cool. All right. Love Uncle Phil. Shredder, the big bad from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I mean, he's trying to kill... Not only trying to kill the turtles are kids. They're teenagers. They're teenage. He's trying to kill teenagers. Very bad. Number 5 is Shredder. Number 4, Cobra Commander. Oh, yeah. G.I. Joe's number 1... He's a terrorist. That's literally the character. He's a terrorist. Obviously, Cobra Commander is going to be one of the top villains, but he only comes in at number 4. He's very bad, though. Terrorism. Number 3, Megatron. Transformers. Come on. Autobots, Decepticons. Megatron is the leader of the Decepticons. And eventually, he gets even more powers, and he becomes like Super Megatron. You don't want to F with that guy. Number 2.
So hold on, Zaz, really quick, before number 2. So Megatron was the bad guy.
Oh, yeah.
So then why did they call Calvin Johnson Megatron instead of Optimus Prime, who was the good guy?
He named himself that.
Yeah, I mean, he thought he was a bad guy. I don't know what to tell you, man. Go ask him. What are you asking me?
And Megatron's a plane. He's a fighter jet.
Yeah.
And his arch nemesis,
missiles.
Optimus Prime, is just an 18-wheeler.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Seems unfair.
Number 2, Mumra. You know about Mumra? Thundercats? Mumra was very scary. And they had movies. You ever see Mumra Lives?
Dave Damashek, you know about that Mumra?
No, I have never literally heard of Mumra.
What? What?
I've only heard of Shredder.
Mumra coming in at number 2.
Say it again, then we'll know about it.
Thunder, 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 cats.
Mumra. And number 1.
Mumra.
Number 1, Skeletor. Of course Skeletor is number 1. I mean, He-Man's arch nemesis, who is actually, I think it's He-Man's uncle, all right? Because, he died. He was part of the kingdom, became Skeletor. Skeletor, number 1. I told you, Jared Leto was an incredible Skeletor. Skeletor's great in the movie. Excellent battles. The action scenes are fantastic in this He-Man movie. I love the guy that played He-Man. He's a great He-Man. That's my He-Man. All right.
I need more lists from you. Was there any OLI? Where's Dr. Claw?
No, I told. Nah, Doctor. Hey, the Spectre Gadget was hokey. Doctor, you're not scared of Doctor.
Hokey.
You're not scared of.
He
Dr.
wasn't
Claw.
Mumra.
You're not scared. That's right. So again, to recap: number 5, Shredder. Number 4, Cobra Commander. Number 3, Megatron. Number 2, Mumra. And number 1, Skeletor.
I'm a fan, Zaz. I want to make that clear in advance. But this is a little bit of a hipster list here, right? I mean, like a Mumra number 2. You're talking 80s animated bad guys.
Thundercats.
And you don't mention Gargamel. You don't mention.
No one was afraid of Gargamel. Gargamel's nemesis are little 2-inch blue people, and he has a hard time defeating them. Gargamel was a poser.
Let's do Gas Bag of the Week. Roy, what is it that needs context here on who's speaking and who is the Gas Bag of the Week?
All right, so Steve Eisman stepped down as general manager and executive vice president of the Detroit Red Wings. Having problems up there. Dylan Larkin was to be traded. So a sports fan called into a Detroit radio station and gave his theory about why he's been so bad as general manager.
Tim is next on 97.1. Hello, Tim.
There was a clip a few years back on TNT where they were interviewing Yzerman in between periods, and he basically said, without saying, he smokes a nice one, every once in a while to relax. Do you think maybe he was on that was lettuce a little too much? He was a little too passive, perhaps.
What? What, think that they're high?
Do you think that was a factor?
No. What?
Do we think that Steve Yzerman struggled because he's a pothead? Is that what you just asked us? No. No, I don't. And did he admit that? No, I feel like if he admitted that, are you on the devil's lettuce? Are you the pothead? What?
All right. Well, there's that.
No!
Gas Bag of the Week.
Does that deserve applause?
I love radio remotes. Birds chirping in the background. The soft sounds of you adjusting your headphones.
Are you on the devil's lettuce?
The fact that that's probably a car dealership. Oh, that's hot. I like that. I'm an audiophile.
Down at Potemkin Mazda.
So is Roy. Roy is, I don't know what that look is on Roy's face, but
Sonically
it
pleasing.
looked a bit like old girlfriend longing. She was a real Hellcat. Like,
Yeah, real tomcat. I love that. Oh, hey, Gary Abar. I'm getting a little. My return is a little too loud, Gary Abar. Oh man,
Where's Tree?
Oh yeah. What's the ISCN settings?
Somebody
G.722.
I get this joke too.
We got a backup coupler. Hell yeah, G.722.
It's a good call by you.
Gary Abar, Jeremy, was the most competent of all of the engineering and audio help that we had. But that particular sound that Roy just played that made him both nostalgic and longing in a way that is weird. There's a little nature in there. But what you really hear there that is making Roy laugh, and it's what Zaz is appreciating here as well. Rare is it that you get the sound of what it sounds like on the...
Do you like breathing hot neck on the neck of hot?
Wow.
Are you turned on?
That kind of thing.
Do you like
Dangling.
breathing hot neck?
What's going on here?
Do you like
Sexy.
breathing hot neck?
You have been dry humped many, many times.
Intimate.
You have been dry humped many, many times.
A little pelvic thrust situation?
I like that.
That kind of thing.
Have you ever consoled a naked man before?
What does it feel like to get dry humped?
I saw pee-pee.
I've never consoled a naked man.
Breathing hot neck.
I've never consoled a naked man.
Many, many times.
I saw pee-pee.
People out there, stop sending me pictures of the hotel rooms with the chair, okay? Stop sending those to me.
I like that. I like that.
Want to get some thoughts from you on what Charles Barkley said about LeBron James.
What'd he say?
We were discussing yesterday one of the things he said, which is that he'd be willing to make LeBron the greatest basketball player ever if LeBron wins 2 titles with Philadelphia. But he's always critical of LeBron because of some of the roster decisions that LeBron makes. So let's listen to him here.
The number one knock on LeBron for older guys like myself has always been, yo, man, you always stacking your team. He stacked it in Miami. He stacked it in Cleveland. He stacked it in L.A. Now he's stacking it in Philly. So that, to me, I'm going to still have the same criticism I've always had.
How did he stack his teams in Cleveland and L.A.? Like, what did he do to stack the teams?
Oh, he only agreed to go to Cleveland because of the talent that they had acquired, and then moved the number 1 overall pick for Andrew Wiggins for Kevin Love. So he went there because they had a lot of good players, and I don't think that's necessarily the case in L.A.
For sure. Remember the first year he got there, they were terrible, and then they made the trade
Right.
for Anthony Davis.
Right. So I don't think that's necessarily true in L.A.
It's a weird criticism, even if it were true. I mean, especially now at his age, what's wrong with trying to surround himself with enough talent with the idea of winning another championship? Why are we criticizing him?
Well, it is what Charles did at the end of his career when he joined Drexler and Olajuwon. Like that's what Charles did. But do you guys think it's a fair criticism? Like he stacks his teams. Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love is a stacked team. Anthony
The
Davis.
goal, I thought, is to have a good team.
It's fair.
They're stacked because he exists on them. I mean, maybe Bosch and Wade get to an NBA Finals. Maybe they win one. But that's the only team in that bunch that does the winning without LeBron, I think, in terms of stacking the deck.
I also think it's legit that he wants to become the first person to win a championship with 4 different teams. That's a big deal. And I think maybe if it's real close at the end toward Philly and Miami, maybe that's the deciding factor. I've already done that in Miami. I want to do it now in an even bigger market where they haven't won a championship since 1983. That makes me a new kind of hero.
Well, Charles admitted that if LeBron wins the next 2, then he's the GOAT. And and it's not because he's doing it in Philly. It's because he's doing it in his mid-40s. Like, this is crazy.
This one is interesting to me, though, because we tend to admire, while we spend a whole lot of time talking about the importance of team, the sacrifices that have to be made in the name of team, even though your company and your workplace, my guess is you're not quite as sacrificial in the name of team as you'd like your athletes to be. And so what ends up happening is we admire Dirk or Kawhi or Jalen Brunson when they have what appears to be a less stacked team than the rest of the league, and they win anyway. We give them a respect that is more outsized. I don't see the reason to criticize just about anything about the career of LeBron James. It's been almost universally majestic the entire time, and I think people are nitpicking with them. But the way Jalen Brunson won this year, which is still with the best three-point shooting big man there's ever been, but it's viewed as you averaged 30 a game, you scored 45 in the clincher, everyone was trying to stop you, and that's what we admire the most. We don't say that Michael Jordan played with stacked teams, even though he had another top 50 player on his team, and when he won 72 games, Dennis Rodman was also on that team, and Kukoc was too, right?
Yep.
Like that. Those are stacked teams, but
is Jokic in that class too, of players that you just listed?
yeah, Jokic is in the class of feeling like he did it by himself, even though it's Jamal Murray, and Jamal Murray's not Scottie
Not a single
Pippen.
other All-Star on the team when he did it.
Well, Jamal Murray made the All-Star game for the first time this year, right? Otherwise, he'd never made an All-Star game. One of the things, though, that I understand when people are looking at LeBron James, what it is that they do is you don't hold this against Michael Jordan because they simply drafted Pippen. They got Rodman in free agency, but you don't hold that against Michael Jordan either because he did it on the team that he was on, and you're okay if management goes out and gets the great players. You're less okay if the player becomes management. If the player says, I'm the ecosystem around which I'm going to lure people to Cleveland. Nobody chooses Cleveland. Nobody chooses Cleveland in free agency. Like that's not where people want to live. But we give him no credit for the idea that he has the gravitational pull of not just being the guy who's at the center of player empowerment, but player empowerment that makes him management. I'm going to build my own team. I'm going to do it myself without needing Phil Jackson or Pat Riley to do it for me. In fact, the lesson I'm going to take from Pat Riley in Miami is that I'm going to go somewhere else and be Pat Riley.
We like when the star stays. The star stays and others come to him. The star was loyal to the team, and the team eventually did the things to get the star the better players. That we're totally good with. Like, that's why no one ever gives Steph Curry any type of crap for Durant joining. Now, granted, I know they won before and after, but Durant came to the Warriors. Curry was there, and he won there.
That one's interesting, though, because Durant gets the criticism for that, and Curry gets none of it.
Yep, because Curry was already there. That's it. He didn't leave to go win somewhere else. He stayed where he was.
But he stacked his team.
But it's his team. It's his team.
Yeah, but they drafted Klay Thompson. They drafted Draymond Green. To what you were saying, they only added one guy.
Yeah, but the guy is one of the greatest scorers in the history of the sport.
Only one guy, though. Only one guy.
Let's look at what Jalen Brunson's life right now is in New York, because he really does own New York in a way that's unusual. It's not just that the Knicks are the favorite team, but he's also the lovable little guy. So when it's raining in New York, a bunch of people just put umbrellas over Jalen Brunson's head wherever it is that he goes. He doesn't have to carry his own umbrella. It's just
6 different umbrellas.
Yeah, just anyone with an umbrella is shielding their beloved golden child from the rain. But also, let's play this video of the difference between being a Brooklyn Net in New York and being Jalen Brunson in New York. Here's Michael Porter Jr. trying to get into the club in New York, and he's got to tell people, look, I'm Michael Porter Jr. I play for the Brooklyn Nets.
I'm trying to get into the club.
Look at him. He's like clearly waiting at a line, giving his name. I'm Michael Porter.
Yes,
Yep. that's
am I on
P.O.
your list? I'm Brooklyn Nets, and
Porter
then
with a P.
and
P.
then what spills behind him is here comes Jalen Brunson with all of the flashballs.
I didn't see that coming.
Porter Jr. does get in right behind him, but just that little like, hey, yeah, that's who I am.
Did he have to show ID, Porter?
What do you guys think Jalen Brunson's life is right now?
So good.
In New York
Best
City.
life.
He's not going to have to buy a drink or a meal the rest of the way.
But that's
correct?
bullshit, though. Like he has so much money. He should have to pay for everything. Like I understand he has to pay because he's king of New York. He should always have to pay.
Relax, Mondani.
He's rich. Doesn't have to pay.
And he's made for life in New York, too. That one moment in the finals, he doesn't have to do anything else. He doesn't have to win again. He doesn't have to continue to be that level of star. He is made in New York.
Do you think he has to be careful, like when he goes? Because he's not gonna have to pay. So is he careful about what he orders, where he doesn't want to be a schnurr? You know, where it's like, oh, I'll have the lobster, and she'll have the finest meats. Like he doesn't want because he knows he's getting comped. Is he trying to be polite?
Oh,
with
but
his
I don't
meals?
think he knows he's getting well, I don't think that is an offense if they don't tell you beforehand that they're comping the meal, but they just comp the meal afterwards. You're ordering the way you would order if you were trying to be most extravagant, but you can assume the meal's being comped, but they're not telling you in front that the meal is being comped.
Right.
Zaslow, was that Yiddish?
Yeah, schnurr.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's Yiddish for like someone who's you're ungrateful. You ask and you ask and you ask. You take.
I think you guys are off on this. I don't think he's ordering at all. I think it's just the owner coming out. We got you. We're going to bring out a bunch of our best stuff for you. You don't have to worry about the menu.
Yeah. What if he has some allergies? What if he has some
You think an elite
restrictions?
athlete has allergies like that,
That's
Dan?
when
Come
he'll
on.
say, all right, I have a shellfish
I mean, Tom Brady famously would reject
Not an allergy.
everything.
Not an allergy. Just said he didn't like nightshades.
Tom Brady, I'm guessing, would not like you ordering for him. And I think in general, athletes are going to have some control stuff that makes them predisposed to not want someone else to pick their preferences for them. I think they're more likely to have some control stuff there than the rest of
The
us.
chef is going to bring you to the table and bring what he feels is the best of his abilities. You're going to be like, no, I don't like shellfish. Sorry. Weenie.
I don't want a chef to order for me. What am I, a child?
Why are you going to his restaurant then?
I've been
to pick what I like. Bring me a lobster. Bring me a filet mignon.
I've been to a restaurant with you where someone brings you out a bunch of stuff.
And?
I mean, and that's not my preference. That's not my preference.
But-
Not only that, when a restaurant gives me a free meal, it happens a lot. I don't want to brag. Generally, I say to the chef, "Thank you very much, but I insist on paying." That's what you got to do. That's the play. That's the play.
That is not a thing that happens.
That's the play. That's
We
the
just
play.
lied. No. I never want to pay money. No, that's not something I do. Pay money for things. Very cheap. Never turned down a free meal.
It's an old wives' tale. Me being very cheap.
Who shot John?
I'm the opposite.
I still don't understand when, why, or how "who shot John" is used.
Call up my wife. She'll explain it
Well,
to you.
I'm
It's
sitting
in the
right
car
next to
on the
you.
way to a restaurant.
It's in the car on the way to a restaurant.
It's like the family can't agree, and my dad will just be like, guys, I don't want to play Who Shot John.
Because it gets to a ridiculous point. It's frustrating for me. And those three words generally silence and cause the conversation to veer in a direction, sharply, in a direction that I prefer.
Who's John?
That's the question I have. Who is John? Why did someone shoot him?
It's a generic name. You know, it's not a specific person.
Why did someone shoot him?
Because he was upsetting them so much. You know, I'm in the car with John. We're going to go to Alice's restaurant. And
With Bernie Parmalee?
And we're headed to the restaurant, and at the last minute, John says, or if you prefer, we'll go to the House of Nuts. And I say, no, we're going to Alice's restaurant. And then he insists, the House of Nuts is great. Haven't you heard? Who shot John? Let's go. Come on. Forget about it. We're going to Alice's restaurant. Arlo Guthrie, 1967.
You like to take your wife to the House of Nuts?
I mean, it's a place we go to.
Yeah, how often?
It depends on the kind of nut I'm interested in. I love
A
Brazil.
sizable one.
I love Brazil nuts.
Yeah.
Good fans.
Good fans.
Really good fans.
Brazilian nut.
Well, it's a good nut as well. Legume. Or is that a bean? I think that's a bean.
It is a bean.
Although nuts and beans are in the same family, I think.
Yeah, they're all
What are some
around
of your
there.
other favorite ethnic nuts?
Put it in the poll. Put it on the
I
poll.
like all nuts. I love pistachios, but I insist on deshelling them myself.
Hell yeah.
You give me a bag of pistachios that have already been shelled, I'm going to turn it back.
That's
Okay?
right.
Thank you.
Put it on the poll, please. Are nuts and beans in the same family? I don't believe that they are in the same family. And also put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Will you eat pistachios if someone else has taken off the shelves for you?
Zaz, you know about that good nut?
Insists on paying.
I don't believe him either.
I don't.
What a whopper.
Okay, but
just say things sometimes.
imagine how to
Please get close to the microphone.
if you're Jalen Brunson, how to grow your legend even further. You become known as the super celebrity who owns New York City, but when the finest restaurant wants to pay for your meal, you say, "Chef, really, really appreciate that. I'm going to insist on paying."
Nah,
But
you just
thank
leave an
you so
awesome
much."
tip. You just leave an awesome tip.
Well, that's the other alternative. Instead of leaving the same 8-10%, you're actually going to leave maybe a $20 bill.
Oh, you pay. You
And
pay.
I'm kidding.
And then you turn to your wife and you say, "What do we break a window?"
Exactly right.
I am.
What do we break a window?
What do we break a window?
You're taking-
And then I said, "What do we break a window?"
That's the kind of place where you can spend more than $100 for a steak. Right? I mean, I've spent $80 in my market down here for a restaurant steak.
$15 tip on that.
I want to ask
I'm a big tipper. I'm
you
just
guys
kidding.
how I'm supposed to feel about something that just happened to me in New York. Okay, I like I like a certain mezcal, and it's not particularly expensive. It generally runs me from about $38 to $45 a bottle. Not all that expensive as far as these things go. And my hotel, I could have gotten it ordered to the room, and my wife is asking me, how much do you think it costs? How much do you think it costs? And I'm like, I don't know. What's the markup going to be here? $200? And she's like, nope, higher. And I'm like, $250? And we did this 8 times, and I never got it right. It was $650 on the markup. And I'm like, that's not sane.
For
That's
the
not,
same?
Yes, for the same. It's the same. It's the same
Oh,
bottle.
wow.
It's not a special bottle. It's basically a markup of more than 10 times on a bottle. Does that seem reasonable to you guys, even by inflated room service standards?
You didn't pay for it, right?
No, I did
Okay,
not
good.
pay
Thank
for it. What is that's a fact? I wouldn't have paid.
Send my assistant to the liquor store.
I wouldn't have paid for it for half that much. I wouldn't have paid. That's
making sure.
You're
That's
a man of principle.
That's lunacy, though. Like, what is that? Explain to me how it is with a straight face that I don't think that bottle service in the greatest of the Miami clubs or the most expensive of the Miami clubs is going to have a markup like that, where you're talking about 20 times. You're talking 20 times what that would normally cost.
No, it's crazy, and I don't think it's just New York City. When we were in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, at the hotel bar, I order a glass of champagne to bring up to the room because that's what the wife wants. And you know how small a flute of champagne is, and it was like $45. That's a lot to me. I don't want to be the guy who says, no, that's fine.
There's a huge FIFA story that is breaking right now. It actually has a tie to the Miami Heat. So an exclusive from Martin Ziegler. Exclusive. FIFA's president, Gianni Infantino, is planning to sell stakes in the World Cup to private investors under a scheme that could potentially earn him tens of millions of pounds. Investor discussions held with people close to the Trump administration. And he continues to add, FIFA has now confirmed to the Times this Infantino plan is under discussion with Josh Kushner as proposed lead investor.
It's interesting what just happened there. I'm going to let people see behind the scenes here on the dangers of doing a live program. Mike Ryan just went, in my mind, rogue on the breaking news sound, which I asked from Roy. And the reason I asked Roy for the breaking news sound is because I wanted to report exclusively that Colin Cowherd has tweeted out the horror genre has lost me, has to be at least remotely believable. That's the news I was going to break off of the breaking news sound.
Well, we both simultaneously said we have huge news.
Both
and
big stories.
I should have, I should have taken a step back. Yours was bigger. FIFA is famously not for profit, although nobody believes that. And this is Johnny Soccer's flying a little too close to the sun. He's pissed off a lot of the European powers in UEFA, and UEFA has already come out with a very strong statement on this. UEFA's statement says this crosses a line that this crosses a line that football's governing institution should never cross. UEFA takes it extremely seriously. So should every national football association. So should every stakeholder, leagues, clubs, players, supporters, governments, and everyone who cares about the future of the game. The soul and governance of football are not assets to trade, especially with zero transparency as to who gains financially. Now, part of the ticket scandal that rocked the FIFA World Cup, that didn't end up mattering because the revenue was crazy and everybody was happy and Johnny Soccer was super happy with it and all that, was famously, previous scandals, Sepp Blatter, all the football associations get paid the same amount of money when it comes to a revenue share. So it doesn't matter if England is this huge moneymaker for FIFA, they get the same as, San Marino, right? And San Marino's vote counts the same as England's vote. So one of the things that it was uncovered through investigative journalism was allegedly football associations were getting allotments of tickets that they are not allowed to sell. That goes against bylaws, but through proxies, they were selling. And that's why the ticketing market was an absolute mess. And the secondary market, which FIFA also had an investment in because they had their own resale market, was the way that it was. Johnny Soccer is doing an unbelievable heat check right now and turning FIFA to private equity investors. This goes against the very fabric of the game, and this is going to be one hell of a heat check from Infantino.
Well, when you say goes against the fabric of the game, I want to go back to what it is that I was saying earlier, because I keep wanting to put this in front of you because of how disorienting I find it. We are in an age right now where money wins so shamelessly that it doesn't matter what you think a fabric of a game is supposed to be. I want to go back to this Ballmer story and the idea that other owners would be afraid of punishing him for something that we can all agree, if true, would go against the fabric of the game, right? Let me ask you guys the question. What do you think they're afraid of? It's not just his money. It's not just Ballmer's money, although he's much wealthier than all of them. It's what he can do to the construct of their sport when he's alleged to have done something, fabric of the game. You don't care about the salary cap. Can you have so much money that not only the rules don't matter, the idea of rules is just an illusion? That you have so much money that you don't have to respect.
We're still talking about sports?
I'm talking about all of it. I'm talking about the age.
That's what's happening here, and it should be no surprise that the Trump administration is attached to something that is viewed as just a huge breach of it. The Miami Heat ties, by the way, Josh Kushner, yes, that familiar surname, is a minority owner of the Miami Heat. He owns less than 5% of the Miami Heat.
The things that are happening throughout America, and last week tonight just did something on cryptocurrency and just the sheer amount of wealth and conflict that Trump and the Trump family is involved in that has increased their wealth when he was this close to going to prison and needed to win an election in order to stay out of prison and stop all of the prosecuting that was coming his way. When you have someone that brazenly disrespecting all rules of decorum, you realize that rules don't matter.
that there is a level of wealth that you can get to and a level of power that you can get to where the NBA owners are afraid of prosecuting something that would be open and shut case the way that Pablo has proven it, if you believe everything that's being reported as fact. And there's great danger in it not being fact because of what someone like Ballmer can do to someone like us if we get it wrong.
I also suspect that the NBA owners are being very quiet about Steve Ballmer and the allegations against him because they look in the mirror and they realize that every owner is cutting corners.
Okay, but
on
wait,
the salary cap.
but wait a minute. Okay, wait a minute. All right. I keep mentioning this because I'm not naive here. Okay. Every owner can be cutting corners, and few have ever done what is alleged here quite as brazenly as tens of millions of dollars outside of the salary cap alleged for a no-show job. But when I want to ask you guys the question, what are they afraid of? What are the owners actually afraid of? It's not just the money. What's he going to do with the money that makes them afraid? And what he can do is like, hey, the salary cap's a sham. Like, I don't have to respect this. Why do I have to respect this? And now you've got people being deposed and a commissioner. Like, what do you mean that you get to make all the rules on something I own? Yeah, it's collectively bargained. Let's try to see what comes up in court. You guys all want to come to court with me? The answer is no. The answer is that they're afraid of what he can do publicly to them with his money. And my question to you continues to be, what can he do to them? What are they what are they so afraid of? Is it what Greg's saying? That we're all playing fast and loose with the rules, that if you go to see what the Knicks are doing, it becomes a less charming story because Brunson accepted less money. Why there? What did they do there to get Brunson to be able to build out their team when the Karl Anthony Towns contract is supposed to be too expensive for most teams to take, but they can take it on because Brunson's taking less money? What's James Dolan afraid of? And the answer is everything. The answer is you seeing everything. You're just shaking your head.
He's
Zaz.
embargoing his thoughts.
I hear what you're saying. I come from a place, though, where, I don't know, like, I'm going to sound naive. I don't think everyone's cheating. I just don't. I think there are probably some. Like, I remember Mark Cuban back in the day was like, I don't know if they want everybody snooping around, Yes, there are probably some owners, but I don't think it's this league-wide rampant thing that everyone's cheating. But I do think that it's a problem that you have the richest owner who clearly did something wrong, or allegedly did something wrong here, and the commissioner is obviously in the pocket of said owner because the commissioner works for all of the owners. And the firm that they hire to investigate is essentially working for all of the owners because they're paying the firm. Like, I think it's a major issue.
Zaz, I feel like it's a house of cards, right? You say you're naive maybe and people aren't cutting corners, but like that's how the industry works. If all of a sudden you're in these rooms where there's 30 other owners and you realize, oh, wait a second, this guy's cheating, that guy's cheating, this guy's cheating, that guy's cheating, why am I not going to cheat? Well, we're going to get caught?
Like,
we're
I
going
don't
to
know,
Discovery and figure it all out? Like, that's what they're worried about, Discovery.
Yeah, and like, Dan, I know you've said in the past where the other owners, they're angry, they are pissed. I don't know, I haven't heard from anyone. Not even anonymous owners.
No, but I'm telling you why. The reason isn't because they're not pissed. The reason is because they're afraid of him and his money. Like, they don't want to keep bringing attention to something that will make the idea of rules an illusion. Like, the idea of rules can't be an illusion, not in America, not in sport. Like, it can't be that we can't enforce the rules, and if you take our rules to court, you'll be able to just sort of hide in the shadows because you can just throw money at the idea of, I don't have to respect your rules.
It's a golden age of corruption in the United States. You can do it with impunity. Donald Trump has made more money in these last 2 years as president than he did in his entire 60 years in business, and we can do nothing about it. Settlements happen right before Live Nation is supposed to be taken to task. I don't know if you saw this story about a StubHub upper management person that had a side business that was buying up all the tickets to resell. A total monopoly over that. So here in the United States, we're just grown accustomed that this corruption goes unchecked, which, to turn our attention over to FIFA, horse of a different color. Soccer fans in Europe have a ton of power. They stopped Super League. In fact,
I want that here.
In fact, they may actually have the power to stop this Paramount Time Warner merger. Big-time actors in the UK are calling on the UK government to stop that. And we're seeing this happen on the state level, too, where you're not just messing with the United States, whose consumer is just broken down by the corruption because it goes unchecked. The rest of the world has power here. And I think that's what Infantino's going to run into.
I think that Ballmer is scary to the NBA because if this thing is litigated and all of a sudden everything's in court and everything's under oath, the owners have the curtain pulled back and are forced to say things they don't want to reveal about their own business practices, about the other owner down there. So I think that's opening a whole Pandora's box that Adam Silver and the owners don't want opened.
The cryptocurrency that the President of the United States is more than dabbling in with his family represents, by far, his greatest business achievements. There are no resume items on Trump's resume that have made him more money than the way that he is using the presidential power to ignore conflict of interest, to ignore the idea of decorum or that the presidency can't be compromised. I've told you before here that next door they have given this. It really is flabbergasting to me that any one of these things that I am mentioning would have ended any other American presidency before this one. Taking an airplane from a foreign nation to become your new airplane. And next door to us, a plot of land has been given to the President of the United States that is among the most valuable plots of land anywhere in the United States, given that Miami has recently passed New York in terms of being the least affordable, the second least affordable place in the United States behind only San Francisco. A presidential library that's not going to be a library, that's just going to be land that is given to Trump next door by the governor of Florida. We are living in a time where the rules don't matter. And if you're shameless enough, you can be above all of the rules. I don't feel like that's always been so. Even as people listening to this would say, yeah, money wins. Not like this. Money's never won this way.
Jimmy Haslam won this way. Money always wins this way in sports. Money's winning right now. And we'll see whatever's at the end of this story for the current administration. But money's been winning. They've been selling pardons. Money wins.
Not like this, though, Mike. We have never had this degree of shamelessness and this degree of corruption. And I understand that most people listening to this would say, yes, of course, great advantages to money. But I didn't realize that shamelessness was the trick to get all of these things around people in a way that just can't be stopped, that your rules simply don't matter, that the idea of rule of law and the idea of governance is something that's not possible to enforce once you reach a certain level of money and power. And in fact, I would think that no matter how much money you have, you would still be afraid if you were in the position that Donald Trump was in before the election, where you basically have to threaten and topple democracy in order to stay out of prison. No matter how much money you have and no matter how immune you think you are, I would think you would still be afraid in those instances when the stakes are that kind of high.
Flooding the zone has been a very effective strategy, and it was part of the plan. Steve Bannon said as much. Your head is spinning every day because there's a Watergate-level scandal every day. We're back at war with Iran. All right, is this a full-fledged war? Do we get congressional approval? No. Presidents can just do that now. We don't need congressional approval for wars anymore. What happened to the money from Venezuela? Where did any of that stuff go? He doesn't even have to answer those questions. He just deflects. These are all things that if they happen in an isolated fashion, they would topple previous presidencies, but there is literally something every day.
So rules are an illusion now.
No, yeah, I mean,
they've always been.
Destroyed them.
If you have a certain amount of money, they've always been.
The superhero power when it comes to this president in particular is the last rung of defense always seemed to be shame. And better than anybody that's tried it, and he's had a lot of copycats too since. No one can do it to this level of this president. To the point that, well, damn, I don't really have an answer for that. I don't have an answer for someone that shameless.
It seems to me, what are you smiling about, Cody?
I'll lean back.
It's very difficult to wrap your mind around the discussion of Trump and his ethics or lack of. It's just so dense that I'm smiling because I don't really want to go there. It's exhausting.
That's what they count on. But the
absolutely
thing
exhausting.
is, that's what they count on, and it's worked. I'm exhausted by it. I mean, do people even know that you need congressional approval to go to war? Do people even know that anymore? Do people even care to know what happened with all of Venezuela and where that money is going to? Or there's that. No one can, we can't focus on something because it's whack-a-mole. There's something new, and we're just resigned to, well, you're just going to get away with it, I guess.
Resigned and exhausted so that it seems like Kyle Shanahan's accident has more scrutiny than some of the things that we're talking about. And I really do feel remiss, and I have to apologize to the audience that we ignored the breaking news of Colin Cowherd announcing that the horror genre has lost him.
That's a harsh reality.
Good morning to the three people who are sitting at the table, and Lewis just goes, "You have your hat today, right?" The fuck?
Nice hat, asshole.
Bald people.
Nice hat, asshole.
You have a hat, right?
Nice hat, asshole.
Nice hat, asshole.
Nice hat, asshole.
You have a hat, right? In order to disguise his baldness.
You're bald.
Zaslow wears the cap.
You're bald. I'm not into fashion. Bald people. You're bald.
Nice hat, asshole.
What kind of way to greet me is that?
You're so bald that people are comfortable telling you upon greeting you that you need to do something with your appearance.
So you can't do the plugs and the dye. You got to pick one.
People aren't still doing toupees, are they?
Oh, yeah, they are.
Nice hat, asshole.
Fake hair toupee.
Nice hat, asshole.
He looks bad without a hat.
Nice hat, asshole.
Bald capital B.
Nice hat, asshole.
Your brain beat me.
Why is it okay for everyone to make fun of people who are bald?
Just because you're bald doesn't mean you can take it out on other people.
You're bald.
You say the toupee business is booming.
Google Jamie Foxx toupee.
Dom Capers.
Bald people. I'm sorry, Sass.
I was just looking at Bill Self and Carl Ravitch.
Tony's about to leave because he's headed to go see if he can talk to Giannis and Bobby Portis. But I think there's a problem in that these guys are doing a lot of media today. And I heard Zaz grumbling because I think that
Dan, I'm sitting at the table out there. You know, we're doing production stuff. I'm finishing my bagel. Tony's finishing it. Tony gets a huge plate every morning for breakfast. If you're wondering all the money that's being spent here at breakfast, Tony has one of everything every morning. Okay, whatever.
What?
Yeah. I look at your plate, you got everything.
I got a little bit of egg, a little bit of bacon, and a little bit of potato. What's wrong with that?
Sausage?
No.
Yes.
Not today. Not today.
Anyway, he's finishing his plate. I'm finishing my bagel. All right. And I say, yo, I'm getting Bobby Portis today on Zaslow Show 2.0. And he says, yeah, I'm getting Bobby Portis too. I'm going to the arena. I go, okay, cool. What time? He goes, 2 o'clock. I go, I'm scheduled for 2 o'clock.
We're both scheduled for 2 o'clock. Guess who's going to get him?
Me.
I'm going to be in person.
I was a broadcaster for the Miami Heat radio network for 12
What have you done for
years.
me lately, Eddie?
You've done nothing ever for
What
them.
are you talking about? I was just at Heat camp.
I am
insane. You're nuts, man.
I have 2 championship rings. I'm a champion
I'm
broadcaster.
trying to bring more championships over there.
He was a proud member of the Junior Heat.
Okay, we'll see. I'm going to get him. They're going to give him to me before you. And you know what? It's going to be extra insulting for you because you're actually going to be there in person. I don't need to go in person. I'm going to be right here. And they're going to call me on the stream, on a video link. and they're going to give him to me
Yeah.
before you. You know what?
Yeah.
He's going to be on video with me. You're going to be standing next to him waiting.
If that happens, I'm
That's
going to
what's gonna
derail
happen.
the interview.
That's what's going to
I'm
happen.
going to derail the interview.
I dare you to do that.
Neither of you are going to get him if I ask for him.
Ooh!
No, but you're going to be here. Who cares?
If we're being honest here, since you joined the broadcast, team's on no winning. Okay, so I don't know.
They went to the
about-
finals my very first season.
Again, no winning.
You were an ancillary piece.
No winning.
They hoisted babies because
You
of
were
me.
an ancillary piece. Come
So I don't know what you're bragging about.
You were
over there.
behind Hewitt on the depth chart.
Okay, Hewitt. I only got to do it because Kirsten Hewitt left.
Do it, Hewitt.
Do it, Hewitt.
What do you think is going to be the end result here, Mike? Because
I already told you. Well, then predictions.
And be like, Zazzle's going to get pushed back. We're gonna
I don't
do
think
this.
any of us get him.
That would be a big surprise because they told me I got him.
I will 1,000% have him on Zaslow Show 2.0 today.
All right, Dan, I'm going to go get Bobby Portis.
No. Your appointment's not until 2 o'clock.
No, I'm getting there at 11:30. Doors open at 11:30. I'm going to be there right now.
You know what? That's just more time you're going to be standing around and waiting because you're going to be standing next to Bobby Portis. Waiting.
That's it.
I'm waiting.
Somebody cut that for me.
Never
You're
happened.
daddy.
How dare you? How dare you?
let's go to another, though, Argentinian call because there is blatant homerism involved with these calls. This is Pablo Giralt.
Otro centro más de Messi va pasado.
Against the Spread. Against the Spread is presented by DraftKings Sports. DraftKings, the crown is yours. Zaslow, go ahead.
Well, here's what I got for you guys. We're going to look at the W tonight. That's the WNBA, Greg.
Is that right?
We're going to look at the W tonight. And the Indiana Fever, they're taking on the Seattle Storm. Seattle stinks, all right? But we're actually going to go with Caitlin Clark tonight, all right? Caitlin Clark.
Give me that spread.
25 or more points tonight. The market price is plus 185. That's a very big number. And Caitlin Clark has actually scored 25 or more in 2 of her last 3 games, including 45 a little more than a week ago. So we're going to go Caitlin Clark at plus 185, 25 or more points scored.
Greg.
Well, it's a baseball matchup, and I lean heavily on the pitching duel when I'm making an MLB pick.
Give me that spread.
And right now, we got Sandy Alcantara, who's having a really good season for the Marlins. And you know who isn't? Aaron Nola for the Phillies, ERA almost 6. So we're going to go. I love the market price. Marlins plus 1.5 runs. We got to run that one, and you know it.
Against the Spread.
Thin.
I'm trying to call. It's a call.
Very good.
Oh, what?
I'm fine.
Juju, good to see you. How you doing?
Pretty good, brother. How you doing, man? Great to see y'all.
I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. This has been a fun show today. We have any jokers of the day? I mean, we could ask you that every day, but I feel like today we may have some good ones.
Yes, sir, man. I hate to do it to them. My guys, my Buffalo Bills trotted out their new uniforms
Woof.
yesterday, Nickel City. And I'll give it to you. I know what you're thinking. The jerseys are ass.
Yeah.
But the helmets are diabolically ass. I'm talking about, what are we doing? There's only a couple of things us Bills fans have asked for over the years. Some wide receivers for Josh Allen and the red helmets from the 90s. It wasn't that hard. Now we in Nickel City gray. Jokers of, my brother.
Did you get the
Why is my
subtlety?
boy-
Did you get the subtlety of a blue collar?
Did my guy dirty there with that photo.
Oh, nah. Why does he have to be in an abandoned power room, though? Put my boys on the field, man. Jokers of the day, Buffalo Bills, salute.
Juju, do you have any intention of going to see the new stadium this year for your favorite team?
Yeah, man, me and my girl are definitely going up there. She's a bigger fan than I am. Like, I'm a big Buffalo Bills fan, but she will actually murder for the Bills. So we're going to have ourselves in those seats definitely this year.
All right, before we get to the polls here, have you ever been put through a table? That apparently is a very big thing for the Buffalo Bills fan.
Nah, I haven't been initiated. That's
Wow.
why I think maybe so. I think this year may be the year that I get myself thrown or jump through the table.
Wow. All right, let's do some polls here, Juju. What do we got today?
Yes, sir. Is ESPN contractually obligated to talk about Shedeur Sanders? 93% of the audience says yes, they are. Will you eat a pistachio if someone else has already taken off the shells? 60% of the audience says no, they will not. Are nuts and beans in the same family? 52% of the audience says yes, they are. Big wins for my boy G. Did you know that in the medieval times, when people threw tomatoes at you, it was called a laughing stock? 57% of the audience says no, they did not. Biggest poll of the day, proving that wording matters. Is it better to go to the finals 12 times or 6 times? 76% of the audience says 12 times.
How's it not 100%?
Right. Easier sport to nap to on television. Loud-ass bowling or whispered golf? 91% of the audience was tainted with whispered golf.
As an update, just know that our audience said it is better to be 6-0 in the NBA Finals than be 6-6 yesterday.
Big win for my boy. Did the phrase "right on" go extinct in 1973?
Right on.
54% of the audience says yes, it did.
Let's bring it back.
Jack.
Exactly.
Are squirrels rats with fluffy tails? 85% of the audience says yes, they are. Damn. Salute the Master Splendor. Do you remember dancers' names? 77% of the audience says no, they do not.
Go check out Blue Flame.
Hello. If you had sex with 2 people at the same time, do you think you remember one of their names?
Not if they're dancers.
64% of the audience says yes, they would. And last,
Now we got to add the new poll.
Oh.
But what if I told you they were dancers?
exactly. And look, IG is tripping, so that's the last poll of the day. Salute to the poll. We're going to read the next poll tomorrow. Brought to you by DraftKings. Available now in all 50 states.
Thank you. Good night, everybody.